pop R&B artist Jamela.
I picked Kelly. Yeah!
In the morning, please?
No, I think I want to handle this right now. You can give your time to the studio boy, but I think your man can get a few minutes. All right? Hey, don't walk away from me.
You're hurting me. Stop, please.
Get in the car.
I've been down this roller coaster, around in circles.
Real Talk.
Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with DaDirector on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with DaDirector on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with DaDirector on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with DaDirector on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
Hi, this is Monique Dupree, and you are watching Real Talk with DaDirector on Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with DaDirector on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Yo, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome to another edition of Real Talk with the Director and the Jedi Council. I am the Director. We'll be with you for the next 120 minutes or so. Real Talk is brought to you each and every Monday by India Morel, Dollhouse Radio. We broadcast live via the World Wide Web on blogtalkradio.com sometimes and youtube.com/IE Network, Facebook.com, and Periscope, Twitter via Periscope. And soon to be broadcasting on Anchor, which will bring us to Spotify and all these other podcast locations. So we're growing. We're growing. What's going on? Happy Monday, everybody. Shout out to everybody who came through, who's coming through, who's going to be coming through. We want to do, this is going to be since Saturday is Halloween, this is going to be our special Halloween show. So today will be our Halloween special. We are doing the movie versus as we have been doing. We're going to switch it up a little bit, and we're going to do the Halloween edition of Movie Versus. So tonight we will be doing. We're gonna give you two tonight because we're just in the tradition of Halloween, right? We're gonna have two of the masters of horror squaring off. John Carpenter versus Wes Craven in a movie versus square off. Yes. And as a bonus round, we're going to do the hashtag slasher showdown. Jason Voorhese versus Michael Myers. So it should be real interesting in our slasher showdown. Everybody out there, if you're listening, if you're watching, go on, tag us on social media with the hashtag slasher showdown. Say that 3 times fast. Let me put this in the thing here. Slasher showdown. Hashtag real talk. That's REEL talk. just tag us, man. Put the hashtags in there. Slasher Showdown. I spelled that right. I didn't. Put my glasses on. Slasher Showdown. There we go. I think that's it. If not, you get the idea. So, and we'll talk some more stuff, little movie news going on, all this, that. I'm sure Kev will be joining us soon. Give him a big birthday shout out to one of our own, the Jedi Council, one of the Scorpio himself, Kevin, my man Kev. He'll be joining us soon, blessing us on his birthday. That's what's up. Happy birthday, Kev, and we'll definitely do that. And we got some other stuff going on, man. This thing's just movie news. We'll talk a little bit about that. Then Kev will come on and we'll do the verses and we'll get y'all out of here. So you can enjoy the rest of your Monday night, whatever that means. So anyway, you're listening to Real Talk. You're watching Real Talk with the director and the Jedi Council. I am the director, and I brought my Jedi Council with me. Here comes one half of Jedi Council. Ralph, you're in the building. What's up?
What's going on, everybody? Happy Halloween. Woo.
Happy Halloween. Yeah, boo. Yeah, man. So I figured, let me tell you something, though, dude. When we get off tonight, I'm going to be the first to tell you. Here comes Kev now. I'm going to let Kev in the room. Kevin, welcome, sir. Happy birthday, brother.
Hey, thank you. What's going on, guys?
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
What's up, man? Yeah. Yo, man. So I was just about to say you came right on time, Kev. After tonight, I'm going to have to make sure when we're done, I turn on like the Flintstones or something, because Michael Myers has always scared the crap out of me. Even just talking about Michael Myers, I don't have to be watching his movie. Just talking about Michael Myers gives me nightmares. So when we're done tonight, talking all of this crazy Halloween stuff, I'm turning on like the Flintstones or Three's Company, something. I need to have a dream about me with two female roommates, not with me and Michael Myers, trying to kill me. Hopefully he don't kill my two female roommates. That's what I'm hoping. But I think it's obviously appropriate to do that this week on this show. I was telling Kev offline about this, and I'm telling you now, Ralph. So I was scrolling just on Facebook, because I haven't been on Facebook all week. I've been kind of taking a break, social media wise, a little bit. Just personal social media, taking a break. I've been doing mostly, just promoting my businesses, promoting my movies or whatever. Took a little bit of break, just too much craziness, politics stuff, all that stuff. I've already voted. Everybody go out there and vote. I don't like making this a political thing, but regardless, to me, it's your civic duty to vote. I think you should vote. That's it. I'm not gonna tell you have to. I'm not gonna tell you who to vote for. I'm just gonna say, just go vote. I voted, and so civic duty done. I don't want to hear nobody else trying to convince me to vote for one way or the other. Damn Democrats will not stop texting my phone. Damn Republicans will not stop sending mail to my house. I'm like, look, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting emails. I'm getting regular mail. Trump train. I'm like, look, I already voted. Get out of my face. Stop sending me stuff. The Democrats are like a gang. These niggas is like they catching me on every mode of communication. So
wow.
Yeah, we lost Kev, but I guess he'll come right back. But so I'm like, look, stop texting me, stop sending me stuff. I already voted. That's that. civic duty done, complete. So, but yeah, everybody go out and vote, man. Go out and vote. Don't care who you vote for, just go vote.
Don't be that guy. Don't be that person.
Yeah. Don't be that guy or that woman that I don't vote because it don't count anyway. And then and you be the first one complaining.
Yep.
I don't want to hear it. In my opinion, that's the one thing I will say. I ain't gonna tell you who to vote for, and I ain't gonna tell you this and the other. But I ain't gonna tell you have to vote. If you don't vote, what I will tell you is you better not complain to me. Because
I agree with that 100%.
You complain to me, and I hear that you didn't vote. Boy, I'ma tear your ass up. I'll be like, what? I'm like, you don't even count. Stop. Nah. Stop.
Exactly.
Don't talk.
Go sit down somewhere. If you don't, and I mean, I'm gonna say, yeah, you do need to vote. Don't like, well, maybe I should. No, you need to go vote, because if it doesn't change and you complaining, man, I'm gonna curse your ass out for the next 4 years.
Like I said, my thing is this, and this is what I like. I feel you say yes, you should go vote. I mean, you do have to vote. I say like this: I ain't gonna tell nobody they have to vote. I think you do. I think I do, and I think you should. However, all I know is this: if you don't vote, I better not hear your mouth. I better not hear you complaining about who the hell is the president, no matter who it is. I don't hear no complaints because you didn't vote. You to me, you've forfeited your right to complain if you don't vote.
Agreed.
Complain about politics, at least.
That's what I mean. Bigger than that. It's actually bigger than that. It's bigger than that. Listen, you vote for, whether independent party, it don't matter. The bottom line is people died and got their life beat out of them for you to have the right to vote. Men, women, both black and white sacrifice themselves so you can have the right to vote. If you're listen, and this is not to sway you one way or the other, but quite obviously there is a reason why the Republican Party is so intent on suppressing the vote, specifically for Black people, and for poor people in the Bible Belt and such areas. It's because your vote matters. So you need to get out there, regardless of whether you're voting for Trump or whether you're voting for Biden, Harris, or whether you're voting independent, regardless of who you're voting for. You should get out there and vote. But understand also that you're not voting is just as bad as saying, you know what, I'm a racist. Just I agree with racism, or whatever the case may be. Whatever you need to find the party that aligns with what your beliefs are and what you're what you're looking for. For me personally, quite honestly, nothing that either one of these parties do affects me. One, because I'm self-employed, so I'm screwed no matter what. So it really doesn't matter. But above all that, the reason why I vote, and yes, I'm independent, but I do vote Democratic because Democrats seem to more so care about the people in general, making sure that people have the rights to do what they need to do. Are they perfect? No, but they make sure that your rights are being upheld. Right now, the Trump administration has made sure that they've appointed over 200 judges to federal benches. That is not good for you if you believe in any kind of federal law that you want to have passed that concerning your rights, whether it be criminal or anything else. The other thing, Black people, stop talking about the 94 crime bill. Please stop talking about that. And this is going to be my last point on this. Please stop bringing up the fucking 94 crime bill. You know what? If you, like me and a bunch of others, was out there selling crack, guess what? You know what? Your ass, it's called karma. That's what the 94 crime bill is. The damage that crack has done to the Black community and to America in itself, whether it be in trailer parks across this country or wherever else, you know what I'm saying, it's devastating. We're still suffering the effects of that now. I mean, just the amount of people that voted for Trump got to be crack babies, just in my opinion. But anyway, that's a side note. But yeah, the fact that Joe Biden helped pass the '94 crime bill has nothing to do with nothing. This country was in a mess. If you grew up in the '80s and in the '90s, you understand. And depending on where you grew up at, you understand how bad it was to live. Some of y'all couldn't even go home. Some of y'all was scared to go home because of the areas that you lived in.
Yeah.
The '94 bill made it possible. It made it possible for some of y'all to be able to go home and have a place to live without getting your damn brains blown out. So was it perfect? No. Are there people that got locked up unjustly for longer times? Yes. But guess what? If you was black or brown, that was already happening to you before a '94 crime bill. Guess what? There were already judges that were appointed that were racist that didn't like your black ass anyway. That was going to give you 30 years for 2 vials of crack. And was going to bust you inside your head for each rock that was inside of those crows. So listen, stop it. Stop it with the '94 crime bill crap. Was it perfect? No. Was Joe Biden perfect? No. When him and Obama was in office, did they try to do stuff before the Trump administration to change the laws? Yes. Did they work on changing mandatory minimums? Yes. Did it get passed? No. Why? Because there was a Republican Senate that blocked everything that Obama was trying to do. Also,
that's a good point. Not to cut you off, Kev, but I wanted to throw it in there while you were talking about the Senate. You know, it's a good segue to this is obviously the presidential campaign. You guys go ahead, go out and vote, but don't make this the only time you go out and vote. Go out and vote for the
midterm elections,
the primary, all of that stuff, the local elections. Just go out and vote.
Don't vote every 4 years, maybe kind of sort of.
Right. It's not a hard thing. It's not a hard thing to do. Yeah, I mean, you just go. You've waited in line for longer. Yeah, I mean, for longer things, the things you want to do. Just and that's that. And I definitely don't want this going the route of a political thing because I don't talk politics. We don't talk politics on this show. We know that. I'm just that's my public service announcement to people.
And listen, know about the candidates who you're voting for, whether it be judges, whether it be your local politicians, whether it be Senate seats or House seats. Listen, know who you're voting for. Do your homework. Understand there is so much misinformation out there. And there are people out here that are so conscious and so smart, basically, that are falling for the dumbness, that are out here just listening to foolishness and not using their common sense.
Well, I tell you right now, that right there is a whole nother show in itself because of the way social media directs people and misdirects people. That's a whole nother topic, which is, people don't even realize what they're taking in.
What algorithms are doing.
Algorithms, so like that. They don't know. It's so deep that people don't even understand it because it's so technical. It's very technical that, certain things that people don't realize that algorithms control the internet. Algorithms control social media. So things that you normally look at, even if you don't normally look at it, things that you've looked at more than once, is going to pile up in your what's called a cache, or there's also something called cookies. That is a technical term. Things that when you visit sites, you ever wonder why you visit a site and then next thing you know it pops up on your Facebook feed? That's called cookies. All right, that's something that's data that's collected, that's automated, that's sent out from sites that makes people oh, okay, so you like this, huh? So boom, now all of a sudden they send in ads to your shit. So like I said, that's a whole nother show that we could maybe even school y'all on. But
which we should, because you should be using, because technically speaking, a lot of us should be using VPN while we're surfing the web.
The internet, it's very. The internet is, like I said, it's. Now I gotta find a name of that documentary. It's a documentary on Netflix. It's called Social Something. It's a documentary on Netflix. It is so insightful, and it really breaks down how these people. You're talking with like experts, people who write these codes and people who used to work for social media sites, Facebook and all this, and these are people that's talking and they're telling you how this stuff is broken down and how it works and how people, whatever. If you're usually, whatever the case may be, if you're a Republican, then more than likely your algorithm is going to only really feed you Republican based stuff. So a lot of times when people are saying, what is this person saying? They're so misinformed. Well, didn't they see what just happened? No, they didn't, because they saw all Republican stuff, because that's the algorithm they created for themselves, not knowingly, but they did. So that's all that. I want to get to some of the but yes, to wrap it all up, go out and vote. I want to get to some of the movie news that we was going through. This is something interesting that popped across the timeline. I was like, okay, so the Richard Pryor biopic, and right before I get to that, I wanted to put this up here too. So Joseph Patterson says, "Come on, Wes, Michael Myers is just a fictional character of John Carpenter's Halloween." Yes, but I'm still afraid of Michael Myers. All right, I know it's a fictional character.
Hey, I'm afraid of Carrie. Carrie, the movie, messed me up when I was 6 years old, and I have never recovered.
Oh man,
never.
Yo, Carrie was messed up too. It didn't scare me like that, but Carrie was messed up too. So anyway, so the Richard Pryor biopic. Right?
But before you get out, before you get to that, I want to bring this up really quick, Kevin. For months, you've been sitting on the show saying you were not going to the movie theater for nothing.
Yep.
But yet you went to the movie theater this weekend. I'm just curious, bro. What happened? What's up?
Because I paid $100 for a PD 100 mask that I bought for. I actually bought it for another reason, just out of panic, and I got some for my family, and I don't know. I had an epiphany. I was just sitting in my room one day, and I was like, holy shit, I bought this mask and I can use it to go to the movies if the movies open back up.
Uh-huh.
And so I sat here in my room for about 40 minutes to an hour watching TV with the mask on. And it was a very good experience. I could breathe easier with that on than I could with a cloth mask or with a bandana or a N95 mask. Right. It wasn't difficult breathing. I didn't plan on eating. That was my other reasoning for deciding to go, because I'm like, well, I'm gonna not eat when I go anyway. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna, and especially there were a lot of things that factored in. And I forgot to upload some pictures to Wes so he can post them up on the site. Maybe next week's episode we could post them up on the while we're talking. But one of the other things that factored in was when I saw how AMC specifically, because Regal is not open at the moment, how they set everything up. Like when you go on to purchase, I'm still using my stub account because they actually paused everyone's stubs account. I should say A-lister account until January. January they were going to reactivate everybody's stubs account. So since mine was paused, I figured, and I already had 3 movies already backed up in it. So I went on, and they actually have the way they have it shown on the site when you go to purchase your tickets. You can see exactly how many people are in the theater and what seats are separating what. Like when I saw New Mutants, at the time that I got my tickets for New Mutants, there was no one in the theater. I was the only one that purchased tickets for it. So I was very comfortable with going to the theater and being in there, and going because there wasn't that many people. However, when I got my tickets for Tenet, there were about 30 people when I first got my tickets for the first Tenet. There were about 30 people. It was in a smaller theater, and they were clustered a little bit too tight together. So even with my PD 100 mask, I changed my ticket date to Saturday, and I actually saw that in that new Liam Neeson movie, Thief, Honest Thief. And again, even with Honest
Thief,
that? Actually, it was good. It was good. It was the same premise as Almost Taken or anything else, but just a little bit different. Same Liam Neeson, you're messing with me. I'm trying to, live my life, and here you are messing with me. So I'm going to get you. And so it's just, same typical Liam Neeson, revenge movie. Nothing anything different. Just different how it was. Just different in how it was set up. A smaller cast, and it was put together pretty well actually, for it to be an hour and 30 minutes. But you know, even with New Mutants, when I got into the theater for New Mutants, there were 3 other people in the theater, a couple and another gentleman or someone else who came in behind me. I'm assuming it was a male that came in behind me, that actually sat, you know, a row behind me and over a seat. But when I came in, the couple that when I came in, not thinking about social distancing when they bought their ticket, they picked their tickets, they picked their seats right in front of me. And what I noticed is, after that happened, when I went back on to go look at tickets, the algorithm, or I guess the IT department, fixed that because they don't want people sitting directly in front of each other, because that's not 6 feet, or maybe it is 6 feet, but it's 6 feet to the center of each seat. At any rate, I wasn't comfortable with that. So what I did was, because I saw that there was nobody else going to be in the theater, I just moved my seat over I just picked the seat that was 2 seats over to the left. But like when I went in for Tenet, what I did was, for Tenet and for that Liam Neeson movie, I just got a seat in the back of the theater that was pretty much away from everybody.
Right.
And then, you know, for Tenet, there seemed like more people started coming in after I got into the theater. So what I did was I broke out my mask from out of my bag, and I put my mask on, and the mask is comfortable. So like I said, it's easier to breathe. The only thing is I pulled it a little too tight, so it was pressing on the bridge of my nose a little bit. But it was, you know, just like looking through, you know, your face is covered and you're sealed inside of a mask. And I was comfortable. Tenet was confusing as hell towards the end.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Like,
but
was it going forward or backwards or what? It's like,
you know, he seems to get a kick out of doing that nowadays. Talking about Nolan. But
and the only reason why it messed me up is because I actually took a quick snooze for like 5 minutes, and that's not a movie you do that on. And I took
you can't. You cannot.
What the hell is going on? Because I was able to follow it as soon as they dropped the first premise, and when they got him off of the when they picked him up and put him on the boat from the solar panel. I still can't believe that, going back to Donald Trump, he believes that there's radiation that comes from God damn it, what the hell are those things called? From wind farms. He's an idiot. Anyway. But yeah, after they picked him up from the wind farm and then brought him down and introduced him to the girl, and they started, you know, and when she introduced him to, you know, the whole premise of what everything was about, I was like, oh, this is cool that they're doing this. Like I got it right away, but I got messed up as to what was going on when I took that stupid nap after they had after spoiler alert for those who are listening, after they had got to the place where they had the exchange tunnels, and the guy had the girl right before he shot her in the stomach with the reverse bullet or whatever the case may be. So I fell asleep like right after that, so I was a little bit confused as to what was going on, and that was towards the end of the film. But aside from that, it was pretty easy to follow. Great movie. But yeah. So
let's get to the. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You finish that off. We gotta get to the movie news so we can.
Yeah, I did reverse my decision to go to the movies because I purchased that mask, and I realized that I could sit in the movie with the mask on. So that was the reason why I went.
Yeah, make sure you post that picture too. Make sure you post that picture so we can.
Those who follow me on Facebook, that picture is already posted up on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Maybe I can find it on Facebook and put it up. So, some movie news here. Well, obviously, there's a lot of things have been happening behind the scenes that people know about, maybe not know about. It's still kind of it's not a breaking story anymore, but I'm still following the whole belly up Quibi thing. Quibi goes belly up, basically. The movie app that had high expectations and high hopes, that had a lot of celebrities, co-signing it and stuff like that. And they were really trying to, get people on board with that new It was supposed to be like a streaming app type of service thing, and yeah, it's shutting down. And so that I'm reading stuff about advertisers that's left holding the bag, advertisers that's already put up over $150 million, that they've put out already. And we're talking about Taco Bell, Pepsi, Anheuser-Busch, and Walmart. All
their productions, they got movie productions that are still in the middle of production.
Yeah, that's being there's a whole crew waiting in Russia or somewhere, Ukraine, I think, to shoot. They don't even know if they're gonna be green light to shoot. It's like it's real crazy right now.
But they knew this months ago, so I don't know why everybody's so surprised.
I don't know. So, but I mean, well, the bottom line is they're surprised because whether they knew it months ago, a lot of people. Because here's a quote from an investor. It just says, "Quibi investor." It surprised me that there was no transaction. They are not selling the whole company, but are winding down and still selling content. It didn't seem to have been an emergency. Well, it's enough that they had to shut down. So, end quote. They didn't say who was the investor, but they just talking about one of the investors said that. So, like, a lot of people are losing money on it. It's like, obviously, COVID-19 is the main reason that kind of messed up. Obviously, if COVID would have hit earlier before they launched it, they would have waited. But because they did launch it, and COVID happened, and so COVID-19 has claimed the lives of in many different ways. It's definitely made a lot of trouble. Well, that's a break. That's a more. It's still a developing story. We'll get back to that and get more on it later or next show. We'll dedicate some dig into it. The Richard Pryor biopic movie, which was originally supposed to be done by Lee Daniels like years ago, and for whatever reason,
family couldn't get it together.
He couldn't get it together. Lee Daniels, along with Eddie Murphy was supposed to be in it, but Lee Daniels was supposed to produce and direct it. So now, from what I'm reading, Richard Pryor biopic movie in the works, and the creator of Blackish, which is Kenya Barris, will be now writing and directing and producing the Richard Pryor movie alongside Richard Pryor's widow, Jennifer Lee Pryor. So,
is Marlon Wayans still attached to it?
Well, Marlon Wayans was never attached to it.
Marlon
Wayans was never attached to it. Marlon Wayans did a very good. He just went on his own and did an audition. Like, it was just a self-tape audition that he did for the role. But originally, it was Mike Epps who was cast as Richard Pryor.
Oh yeah, that's
original
right.
Richard Pryor film biopic. That was Mike Epps. But Marlon Wayans did do a really cool audition that he did, and it was really good. He did really good as Richard Pryor. He captured young Richard Pryor really good. And a lot of people were saying that he should have got the role. I never got a chance, and we never got a chance to see Mike Epps really portray. There was a picture of Mike Epps out there, like he had the clean shaven and he had the little afro. He was like, early Richard Pryor look. I'm sure it's out there. Maybe I can look it up and and find it and pop a picture up where it's like Mike Epps as Richard Pryor.
I still think it should be Eddie Murphy. I know he doesn't really look like Richard Pryor,
Nah.
but I just think
No,
Eddie
it shouldn't be
Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
Nah,
No,
even
it shouldn't.
Eddie,
Maybe Eddie Murphy
wouldn't
10
even
years
play it.
ago. 10 years
Eddie,
ago.
Eddie wouldn't even play it because of that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have somewhat the look, because see, Richard Pryor, his look was a big part of his comedy. You know what I'm saying? So that's why
That
you have to
mustache.
kind of look like him with the mustache and the funny faces he made. That was a big part of his comedy, honestly. You know what I'm saying? So you can't really have. And let me see if I could share screens here. I think I found a picture of Mike Epps. Let's see.
And that picture, and Mike Epps he can play that role, because I remember seeing something with Mike Epps, even with him talking as Richard Pryor, and it was pretty convincing. So between him and Marlon Wayans, both of them would have been a nice choice for that
both
role.
of them would have been great.
And I would be surprised if they still use Mike Epps, because Mike Epps was actually on Ebro in the morning, and they asked him about that, and he said he really didn't know what was going on. He was like, basically what he was saying was the family need to get their ish together, because that was a huge part of the problem.
Oh, okay.
But isn't that always part of the problem with these bios? Like the family just is not completely on board, and only board for half of it, and then want to keep the dark side not put out there and stuff.
Well, that's the case with Aaliyah. They don't want, like with Aaliyah, they only want to show the princess side. They don't want to show all the other stuff. And I don't know much about Aaliyah, so I don't know how much dark stuff there is to even really show.
It's not that it's much dark stuff, but it's more so the fact that
her hopping on planes, her renting out helicopters to go back and catch Jay out there,
try to catch Jay out there. Yeah, that's funny. No, that's true though. She chartered a helicopter to flying after Jay, trying to catch him cheating.
I think the main thing the family is trying to avoid is the whole R. Kelly thing. I think that's the portion that they don't want to
agreed.
To really,
that's what they're trying to avoid.
Really have everything go. Yeah,
I agree.
But I think that if you're gonna make a documentary on, a biopic on someone's life, if there's something that's really in there, you just can't go off over it. It's like trying to make that Little Richard movie and now bring up the fact that he married his cousin or whoever the girl was.
Right.
You can't do that without putting it in, because that's part of the, you want to say, the attraction of who he was that whole thing. The guy had everything. Next thing you know, he married his cousin who was 13 years old, and you just don't gloss over it. And that kind of, it didn't really bug me, but it was kind of like with the James Brown pick. They didn't really say anything about him going to jail for tax evasion. You saw him going to jail because he was evading the cops, but you didn't hear nothing in there about the whole tax evasion thing, which was part of James Brown in his later years. You just and then his comeback. You just forgot all about that.
Mm-hmm. There's the picture of, see, there you go. There's Mike Epps, clean shaven, got his little afro. And
he kind of looked like him.
Yeah, he kind of looked like him. You know what I'm saying? Now add that to him, mimicking his voice and his mannerisms, he will turn into Richard Pryor. You know what I'm saying? So you got to throw those in there. But yeah, that's a pretty good. That's not bad right there. How he's even looking there. That's not bad at all. When you look at him, even got the same nose. You know what I'm saying? They even got similar nose.
Honestly, I think it's just the forces of whatever out there. Not saying the man or the industry or anything. It's just trying to keep him from that. But I honestly believe it's just the what am I looking for?
The politics.
I think it's just the no, not even the politics. I think it's just that It's just the struggle itself of trying to get something done and trying to keep Mike Epps away from him getting that Oscar.
I don't know if it's just. I don't know if it's going as deep as keeping Mike. I just think this project never took flight. It never took form. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I say that, I don't mean that there's like I don't mean like the Illuminati is in the background trying to keep Michael Epps from doing this movie. I'm just saying like just the struggle of trying to get this thing done because it's something that he really wants to. It's a project he really believes in. So it's just the adversity. That's the word I'm looking for. It's just adversity coming against the project, as doing whatever it needs to do. I think it's just I think the project is gonna go. I think it's just
it's gonna go
the time that it's supposed to be.
Now that Lee Daniels, now that Kenya Barris is behind it, it's gonna go because let's not forget now, especially don't worry. Kenya Barris has that big deal with Netflix, so if nothing else, it'll be on Netflix. It'll go through that, it'll be on Netflix. So at least we know it'll get done. At least we still
and it'll get done right because if you want to talk about something that's going to be dramatic and funny, you know better than Kenya Barris as far as that if that's going to be your writer.
He's writing it. It says right now he's taking over the duties of writing, directing, and producing it. So more than likely, I'm going to guess, especially
that's getting done.
Yeah, it's getting done, especially with COVID, or especially with the theaters up in the air, people not knowing where that's going. More than likely, that's going to end up on Netflix because Kenya Barris just signed a $200 million or $100 million deal with Netflix not that long ago to create content. So I'm pretty sure this will be one of them. And he'll probably, I don't know if now cast is not in here yet. They're not saying if he's going to keep the same cast that was originally on because I don't know how that's working contract wise. Because, Mike Epps had already been cast. Eddie Murphy had been cast as Richard Pryor's father in the film.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. And Eddie, I'm sure would love to do that. He wants to be a part of the project, definitely. I just don't think. I'm not gonna say he don't.
And don't Eddie Murphy have a deal with Netflix as well?
Yes, he does. He has a deal with Netflix as well. So more than likely, he'll be involved with it. And Kenya Barris is working with Eddie Murphy on Coming to America. So that's
a wrap.
They're gonna be involved.
Do you think that part of the holdup for this particular project is because Richard Pryor already kind of sort of did it already with JoJo Dancer? I mean, he called it JoJo, but you kind of sort of saw his life.
That was about his life, right? But I think I don't think that's a problem. To be honest with you, I'm gonna say it. Lee Daniels was the problem. That's what's the problem. Daniels was the problem.
Yeah, I might say he was. He was filming himself too much over
like
Empire.
I'll put it in the words of Tex Avery and Woody Woodpecker. If Lee Daniels would have gave Damon Dash his $2 billion,
this would never happen.
It wouldn't happen. We would have had to by now.
Now here's the deal. Lee Daniels is a mess right now. Lee Daniels has got too much BS going on. He's all that controversy that was going over at Fox with Empire. Lee Daniels, like I said, and I'm not sure.
And he's always trying to push an agenda too. That's the other
problem. Trying to push an agenda. I guarantee you, Lee Daniels was going to bring something involved in it that may or may not happen. Stuff like that. So he'll
because remember also around the time that this thing was really being talked about. That was around the same time that all of that stuff was being leaked out about Richard Pryor sleeping with not Humphrey Bogart. Who is that he's supposedly slept
Marlon
with?
Brando.
And and all of the crap about all of these actors supposedly sleeping with each other, whatever the case may be, which is neither here nor there. If that's what they did, that's what they did. Listen, you can't condemn somebody for what they did or
exactly.
But I don't let people bring stuff up, whether it's true or not. I don't like people bringing stuff up for capping off of it when someone's not here to defend themselves. That's what I don't like. You know what I'm saying? That was Quincy Jones who brought that shit up too.
Right. Yeah. For life. Yeah.
Who brought stuff like that up when Quincy Jones? No, let's not even get into what Quincy Jones is into. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, and how all of them wasn't. They probably wasn't on the Epstein Lolita plane. But listen, behind the scenes. Anyway.
Like I said, I'm not even going there with it. But like the whole point is, black.
Wait a minute, who saw Saturday Night Live Saturday night with
Adele?
Yeah, but
Adele
the part
was
where they had, she hosted, but the part where they had Kenan and Kel as one of the guys from Village People, and they did this whole song about Trump, that had me dying.
Yeah, that was funny too. But you know what was the funniest skit that night? Was the one about Jamaica. Oh my God, yo.
The coconut water.
Let me tell you something. It was the three women, because first of all, it's true what they're doing. There's so many white women that vacation to Jamaica.
Yeah.
The vacation.
Not just
I mean, Africa. It was Africa.
Yeah, Africa. Yeah. It's the people, the women, those European women from Germany, specifically from Germany, more so from Germany than anywhere else, but Germany and England. They go down to
Africa.
To Africa,
they're like,
coconut water.
The coconut water. And she's like, "You're gonna need that coconut water." Adele could not keep it together because of not Kristen Wiig. What's
Kate McKenna.
Kate McKenna was saying, I swear to God, I think they wrote this skit just to make Adele break, because she was like, she was trying so hard not to break. And then when the other girl came in, she's like, they're like the mountains, the so-and-sos. And she's like, yes, the tribesmen. And she just kept saying tribesmen. Every time Adele would say something else, tribesmen. Adele just keeps laughing. And then the other girl's like, the music, the drums, the pounding. Adele she completely lost it. And poor Adele had nowhere to hide her face because everyone's looking straight at the camera. And they're doing like an advertisement for Africa, like, come to Africa, visit Africa. And it's like, that is one of the funniest skits in a while. And it was the funniest skit that night to me. And actually, Adele did not do bad. She didn't do bad as host. And there was another skit in there where
I like The Bachelor.
Kate
Bachelor.
Yeah, The Bachelor one was good. Kate McKenna played like a what's they called? But a fortune teller. And they're like, it was supposedly 2019. Oh, yeah. And they're like, I want to know how my next year is going to be because 2019 sucks. And I can't wait for 2020. That's my year. And she's like, this fortune teller. And she's like, oh. And she's like, I see you. Yes, you're in your apartment. And you're in your apartment. She's like, and you're just sitting there like, it was hilarious. She was like, you just gotta watch it, man. Go back. I recommend anybody to go back and watch Saturday Night Live. Last week's Saturday Night Live with Adele hosting had some funny skits on there. It actually did.
Yeah. It appears to me that it has been getting funnier, and with the who the host is. I mean, that whole thing the week before when Jim Carrey came out there as Biden, he was like Biden / Shooter McGavin. I was like, I started rolling.
Yeah, he's getting real. But you know what? A lot of people he's getting a lot of bad backlash. A lot of people not liking the way he plays Biden. And they're like, bring back Woody Harrelson, because Woody Harrelson played him before. And somebody else, they didn't like the way, because he plays Biden with too much energy. He's kind of like Biden, and he kind of goes into a freaking fire marshal bill or something. You know what I mean? Like he kind of like does it a little bit too much energy in there. I think he's doing that on purpose, but that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, so they got a lot of but as far as that particular one with Adele, that was pretty funny. So I want to get to the get to the movie verses, of course. There was anything else? Oh yeah, here's another thing I just want to mention before we get into that for the movie news. So Spider-Man 3 is start filming. Tom Holland announced filming started. He had a video message where he just landed in Atlanta. So I'm assuming they're shooting it at Tyler Perry Studios. He just landed in Atlanta.
Black Man Magic.
Yep, and he said they're going to start shooting. Principal photography is going to start. Tobey Maguire, like I said, there was rumors of Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield supposedly making cameos or whatever in the film, because we know the film is going to deal with a multiverse because Doctor Strange is in it. Obviously he has the whole multiverse of madness and everything, so it's going to be a multiverse type of things going on in the film. So I did read somewhere that Tobey Maguire allegedly is supposed to be playing Uncle Ben in an alternate universe. He'll be playing Uncle Ben, which makes sense because they can't get the old guy to play Uncle Ben anymore because you got Hot May, right? You got young Aunt May, aka Hot May. So
hey May, hey May.
Hey May. So yeah, that's how dudes try to holler at Aunt May. Hey May.
Hey May.
So
she like hi boys. Hey Miss Parker.
Hey Miss Parker. Yeah, so you need a younger type of Uncle Ben. You know what I mean? So makes sense them casting. They want to get Tobey Maguire in there. I kind of hope that they would both play just older alternate versions of Peter Parker. That's what I just was hoping they would do with it, with the multiverse and all of that. But you never know what they'll do.
I don't think it's going to be that, because remember, Mysterio was lying about his involvement in the multiverse. So
no, he was lying about it. But if Doctor Strange is in it, there's going to be a multiverse. Why would they even put in it?
Possibly.
And why would they bring all these? I mean, think about it though. Why would they bring all of these past characters? All of these characters from these past films. Jamie.
I'm gonna say why.
Okay.
I'm gonna say why. It could be they could be all popping in for a scene in like how Mysterio was doing one of his illusions. It could be one of Mysterio's illusions.
Mysterio
got
hopefully
beat,
not,
but hopefully not. But I think
Mysterio got beat, but he didn't get captured. He didn't get arrested.
Supposedly
he's dead. Supposedly he got killed, but we know he's not dead.
We know he's not dead. He's Mysterio. But I think they're gonna do a multiverse. They wanted to. They hinted at it last movie, and then they made it like kind of like played with you on it. This time they're gonna follow through on it because people been calling for it too.
Well, here's a question: if they're gonna bring back Tobey Maguire, what's the chances that they bring back Christian Dunst to play Mary Jane in an alternate universe?
It's a chance. It's a chance. I don't know. They may not because if Tobey Maguire does not, which doesn't matter. I'm just saying, if Tobey Maguire doesn't play Peter Parker in an alternate universe, then what's the point of using Kirsten Dunst? But they might.
She could play May. She could play May.
She could be May in an alternate universe.
And the question I had, and I had asked this question before, not to you guys, but when back the when they were going to do, I think around the time Dark Knight Rises out, when it was like Batman's anniversary. The Batman should have came out this year, which I think this year is the 90th year of Batman or something like that. Would it really be a bad idea to take all the people that play Batman and put them into the movie as a cameo, where they're not Batman, but it's just a nod that you guys helped develop?
That's actually already going to happen. It's I forget what it's for, but Michael Keaton is actually coming back to reprise his role as Batman.
Well, he's
it's going to be in a Flashpoint.
Batman in the Flashpoint movie.
Flashpoint movie, right? Yeah,
he's yeah, but I know what you're saying, Ralph. You're saying put it in a Batman movie, like pay homage to them.
Yeah, like Batman is saving, like Batman crashing through like a boardroom or something, and everybody that played Batman, him,
yeah, actually,
Kilmer, them, or like board members, where there's like a nod.
If you wanted to, you can get Christian Bale to play Alfred because he has the accent. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. It's just like a nod. They don't have nothing to do with the actual storyline of the movie, but it's just a nod that there is a cameo, like how they do when they did First Class, where even though Hugh Jackman is in there as Wolverine, it's like he's not like the focus. So, but could you take him like in the new reboot of Wolverine? Could you take him? I mean, the new reboot of the X-Men. Could you take him and some of the other people that played the characters, put him into a new X-Men movie as not Professor X or Wolverine, just as a bystander, where it's just a nod from the directors to the lineage of the people that already brought this to the screen.
Well, I think in Marvel,
would it really be hard to do?
In Marvel's case, I think that's what's going to happen. But again, that's all going to be pending on what happens between WandaVision and Doctor Strange. Those are the two. The TV show and the movie, because obviously WandaVision is going to be first, and then it's going to bleed into Doctor Strange. So what happens between those two shows, it's probably going to be what's going to end up happening or be a part of what happens in Spider-Man and in other movies going forward. Like Shang-Chi. Actually, and another piece of the movie news from Marvel is that Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings wrapped production today.
Yeah,
they wrapped principal photography this week.
They wrapped the principal photography. This week. Yeah, so I mean, I believe and we're it's almost top of the hour, so we're gonna get into the verses. I believe that it will be a multiverse, like I said, because they hinted at it. People wanted to see it. They want more of it from what they got. They didn't really get a multiverse from Endgame. It was more like a time travel thing, but still,
to be honest with you, I don't want a multiverse. Let that shit stay with DC.
They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it because they're gonna do it to screw DC. That was my last point.
Well, yeah, that's
my last point. They're gonna do it to screw DC because DC is effing around with it and not waiting to pull the trigger as usual, and they're gonna beat DC to something that DC does on a regular. They do it in the comics, they do it in the television, but they never did it on film. You know what I'm saying? So what's going to happen is Marvel, once again, going to beat DC to the punch, and it's going to be successful, and they're going to make $1 billion, and then DC's going to do it and make no money. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be like, that's been done already. I want to see it. The only way DC was supposed to put out Flashpoint years ago. I mean, we should have seen Flashpoint by now. You know what I'm saying? And that would have introduced a multiverse right there. That's the character that you have to introduce a multiverse with. Is Flash.
And thank you, Jeff Johns, again. Jeff Johns and all of you assholes at Warner Brothers that screwed over Zack Snyder are the ones who screwed that all up, because we would have gotten
we would have got it already by now. We would have gotten it already, which we would have got it already. So now watch what's gonna happen. Marvel will beat them to the punch. I guarantee it. Guarantee.
Listen, they're already, and not to stretch this out, but they're already beating them to the punch with Disney Plus. HBO Max is dragging behind.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
I mean, you've already launched it, and it's still dragging behind. You should have. As soon as you shut down, as soon as you launch HBO Max, that DC Universe shit should have been shut down. You should have immediately moved everything over to HBO Max. You should have. The other thing that's killing them is they didn't work out their stuff with Amazon and with Roku. So a lot of us, like me, who was paying for HBO Max, can't see all the stuff on HBO Max because, again, and I should just be streaming it from my phone using my Google Chromecast. But it's a debacle, and they need to really start getting it together.
Yeah.
And listen, and I'll give AT&T credit. They came in, they're righting the ship, but it's taking a little bit longer than it's moving a little slower than it should, in my opinion.
Wow, sounds like somebody in the show I keep saying that, and I keeps getting debunked or picked on because he's taking that stance. I don't know who that certain someone is, so I'm just gonna sit back for a minute and just remember this day, Halloween 2020. I'm just going to say, the latte, always the latte drinking,
always
yoga pants wearing, ankle tattoo having executives screwing stuff up.
Yeah,
they're trying to, and the new people are trying to right the ship. Unfortunately, they they've screwed it up so bad that
it's so far gone. It's taken, and then of course COVID isn't helping anything,
not at all
forward. So it's crazy. All right, it's 10 o'clock. It's top of the hour, and we are now getting into the versus mode. We are beginning our special edition movie versus Halloween edition, and we'll start it off with the Masters of Horror, John Carpenter and Wes Craven, two Masters of Horror. We're going to do 10 movies, and then we'll go on and do our bonus round, which will include the hashtag slasher showdown. So let's get started right away. Movie versus, same rules apply. We're going movie for movie. This time we're just using directors instead of actors, or movie for movie, film for film. Let's do it. So number one is, let's start it off, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Wes Craven versus John Carpenter's Halloween.
Man. It's not even fair, man. It's not. This is actually above Cutthroat. This one is just straight up guillotine. Like it's like the flying guillotine. But for me, man, I'm gonna have to go with Nightmare on Elm Street because there's something about the idea of a serial killer that can kill you in your sleep, but can also kill you while you're awake. It's like, damn, man. I got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Yeah. It's a good point.
Well, guess what? No, it's not really a good point because Michael Myers can kill you in your sleep and can kill you while you're awake.
He can kill you in your sleep. He can kill your ass while you're sleeping.
Well, yeah, that's. But at least when you're sleeping, right? You at least have some chance to beat Freddy. You're asleep, and Michael Myers coming to the room. All he gotta do is just go whoosh, and that's it. You don't even get a chance to say, "Well, Dad, can I at least get a shot in or something? Put up a defense."
Yeah, right. I think either one of them, both of these movies to me were very well done. Obviously, two different eras almost, because Nightmare on Elm Street came out some years later from Halloween, but I'm going to say I think A Nightmare on Elm Street, especially for its time, was very original. It was very different. You know what I mean? Because everyone were doing movies like Halloween, where it was just a slasher guy walking around killing people. Serial killer, slasher, whatever you want to call it. So, A Nightmare on Elm Street was definitely more original at the time, especially for its time. However,
Halloween was the original original.
No, I mean
not the original, but
no,
you get what I'm saying.
Where people were doing slasher films. I'm just saying what stands, what puts A Nightmare on Elm Street apart from other films is because of the whole dream factor. That part of it, that's the part that made it stand out from the normal slasher film. You know what I'm saying? So that was brilliant on Wes Craven's part. And the fact, like, when you think about it, when you watch Nightmare on Elm Street, right? The one thing you always thought about, like what Ralph was saying, okay, you get killed in your dream, so that's why they figured the way to beat him is don't go to sleep, right? That was the thing, right? Don't fall asleep. But thanks a lot, Nancy. She pulled him out of the dream world and pulled him into reality. You know what I mean? Which once again, that was different for its time. That was brilliant. Because everyone who's, I was always very much into dreams and, fascinated by dreams and nightmares and stuff, like just the study of it and stuff. And I always used to think about that I remember when Nightmare on Elm Street came out, and I was like, could you pull something out of your dream? That's weird. You know what I mean? Like that's I thought about that, and they touched on it and they went with it. So that's what I like.
Can I pull Janet out of my dream into real life? Can I just do that?
Well, I remember back then, and I don't know if this relates to the movie at all, but I remember back in the day, remembering there was like I call it an urban legend or whatever you want to talk about, but I remember hearing on more than one occasion that there was a guy supposedly that was dreaming about money with a bank robbery or something like that, and he woke up with the bags of money in his bed with him. So I remember back in the 70s and the 80s.
Right, it could have been an urban legend that people were talking about. But I mean, even I used to always think, what can you do with you? So that's why I thought it was very, very much different. But I'm gonna say, however, Halloween, like I said at the top of the show, scared me senseless. All right.
Listen, Halloween is an American staple. Don't get me wrong. A Nightmare on Elm Street was a very good movie, groundbreaking and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But any time of the year from January to December, if Halloween is on, 9 times out of 10 you're watching it.
Yeah, you can watch it.
If you're not
scared
to death
on Halloween, if you're not scared to death like me. But I mean, let me tell you something. I'm gonna say this one thing, and then we'll get the score and move on. Like I said, with Halloween, I agree with you, Kev. Shout out, rest in peace to my moms. Me and my mother used to watch this movie every Halloween. We would get together and do our Halloween marathon, and we watch. And if we didn't get a chance to get together, we just both watch it because it would be on some channel like AMC or something like that. I have it playing, and we'd be like, my mother would text me or call me and say, "Hey, Wesley." She was really much the only one who called me Wesley. That's my name, obviously, but so she'd say, "Hey, Wesley, Halloween is on." The 2 things she called me about: Halloween, and then she would call me if The Godfather was on every time, and I would turn it on and watch it. You know what I mean? So same deal. So I'm going with Halloween because of the fact that it was scarier, in my opinion. Even though a Nightmare on Elm Street was very scary. The way Wes Craven did it. Both films went on to have plenty of sequels that neither one of these directors directed, ironically. But
I know that's the sad part. That would have been kind of cool to
he directed that, obviously. But
that would have been kind of cool when Jamie Lee Curtis came back to do this actual sequel. If John Carpenter would have came back himself to see what he could do with these characters after so many years, that would have been really cool.
Now, of course, he stayed on as producer for a lot of the films, not all of them, but especially the ones after Jamie came back, and the new ones he came on as a producer. Most of them, he was just getting credits. He wasn't really hands-on on a lot of them. But of course, he gets credit for writing for the characters that he created, which is Michael Myers, Laurie Strode, stuff like that. So I'm going with Halloween. Kev, what's your official?
You already know what it is.
You're going with Halloween. So that's one.
All right, I'll sit in the island by myself. Freddie won't come for me tonight. He won't come for me tonight. I got your back, right? Freddie.
So Carpenter, and then we got Craven, right? So that's one for Carpenter right there. Okay. Next, number 2, Wes Craven, Swamp Thing versus number 2, John Carpenter's The Fog.
Again, here's the setup. You want Wes Craven to fail.
No, I don't. I love Wes Craven. What are you talking about?
Why don't you put Swamp Thing up against Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street up against The Fog? That's the case. It's a setup.
Up against Halloween.
It's a setup.
No.
That's what it
is.
It's the classic setup.
Halloween too. What are you talking about?
Listen. I don't care how early this was in his career. Who's choosing the Swamp Thing over The Fog? I personally watch The Fog at least 5 to 6 times a year, just randomly.
Right.
So anyway, The Fog.
Wow.
We need to have a conversation about this Swamp Thing.
Okay.
The Swamp Thing. Even though the new TV show, The Swamp Thing is dope. I will say that.
Well, I kind of agree. I'm going to take The Fog over Swamp Thing. I mean, to me, even though it's a horror movie, The Swamp Thing is kind of like I don't know if you want to even say like some comedy elements, and I mean, got a romance going on in there. I don't want to see no horror movie where you got to worry about someone. That's part of the rules. When you start having sex in these movies, you get killed. I don't want to see that crap. Take it out. So and plus it's a swamp, having sex with big booby Adrienne Barbeau, who now looking at it is a traitor because she's supposed to be in the Carpenter films, not Wes Craven films. So I'm going with The Fog.
Okay, Fog sweeps. Fog sweeps that round. The Fog was probably my it's not my second favorite. Yeah, it might be my second favorite John Carpenter film, actually. I really did like that film. It was just, Jamie Lee again. And I just thought it was really cool. Once again, I thought that was very different. You know what I mean? It was different, with the whole thing with the fog and once again, that's another one of the remakes that just didn't land when they remade.
Yeah, well, because they tried to, they you know what? And that remake would have worked if they tried to do too much. They did too much CGI on it, and they should have kept it either practical effects or they should have kept the story as simple as the original was, because that's what. And just to piggyback on what you said, it's not that The Fog was different. The Fog was a campfire tale about an island, and most islands, just like I live on an island, I live in Long Beach. Most islands have their haunted stories. They have their haunted history. And Spivey Point had their history. So that's what really kept it grounded, and just Jamie Lee Curtis is a hitchhiker. It's just the whole premise of it, and then Homegirl over the radio.
That part of it was great too. She's like giving the play-by-play, trying to, because she's up in the lighthouse, so she's she can see everything. And then they was like, wait a minute, you shut this chick up. Then next thing you know, the fog starts coming up there. I thought that was funny. I was like, wow. But yeah, so that was okay. So The Fog wins. Move on. The Hills Have Eyes. Number 3. The Hills Have Eyes. That's the original. The Hills Have Eyes. Wes Craven versus number 3. The Thing. John Carpenter.
Here we go again.
Shut up, man.
Not even a conversation. And the Hills Have Eyes was dope. But the thing.
One of the few remakes that was that.
One of the
few films
remakes
that's a remake that was good. That was better than the original one.
The original, yeah.
All three. Well, yeah.
One of the few remakes that was better than the original. Yeah, I got you on that one. Okay, number 4 is Last House. The Last House on the Left. Wes Craven. I remember that film. I remember watching that. It was kind of freaky. And versus number 4, Christine, the one that's Carrie scared you. You said that's a Stephen King. Christine, Stephen King's movie.
I'm going with Christine.
Christine is the better movie. Yeah, I like. Yes, I really like Christine. That was really good. He says okay, and the car actually comes to life and transforms from being a piece of crap to a classic car. It's like, wow.
Christine. Yeah.
Unlike, the only other horror car movie that's better than Christine is The Car. That movie,
The Car,
that movie, just a horn on that car, and you never got to see who was inside the car.
Nope.
Nope. Jet black all the way around. Nothing.
Cool car movies. The Car was a good car movie. Christine. You had Maximum Overdrive. You had remember The Wraith? That was another good car movie.
Yeah.
Oh, The Wraith was dope. Oh, that's a classic. That's a sci-fi. That's up there with The Last Starfighter. That's my movie. Like anytime that's accidentally on, because I say accidentally because nobody puts that on purpose. Anytime that's accidentally scheduled, like at 3:00 in the morning, I will sit up and watch it because that movie is just it was just a dope movie. And that car, that Dodge car, that was a concept. That was a Dodge concept car.
Yeah. It was originally like a Dodge Laser or something like that, or
it started with a C. But the Dodge Laser was kind of based off of that. The Laser, the Future Daytona was kind of based off of that.
Yeah. So okay. So I just marked him. I think I marked him there. And jeez. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. There you go. That was 4. Number 5, The Serpent and the Rainbow. Wes Craven versus number 5, The Prince of Darkness. John Carpenter.
Man, I'm gonna tell you this, right? I told you, like, my first job, I worked in a movie theater, right? And in October, The Prince of Darkness came. We started showing it around, And not earlier than that one, I was never a big horror fan at all. I mean, I've seen a couple movies, but never really seen it. But I used to have a 2-hour lunch. So there's one Saturday, I took my 2 hours. I saw The Prince of Darkness, and I loved it. It's something about John Carpenter. With his music, it's heavy. It's a heavy bass soundtrack. Almost every single movie he's done is a heavy bass.
Oh yeah,
but that last scene that got
does most of his
was
own
when they were
soundtrack,
actually
too.
his own. But when they were actually pulling the devil out of the mirror, and you saw the devil's handcuffs slowly sliding out, I was like, "Whoa!" I mean, there was a couple of other effects in there, like the one guy that had it when you see the body falling like piece by piece to the ground. That scared the hell out of you, But I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I don't really like too many horror movies. Either they're too gory, or they're not gory enough, or they're just plain stupid. But I didn't think The Prince of Darkness was dumb or too gory in any way, shape, or form. I thought it was really well made, and it still kind of slept on to me.
It is, and I'm jealous you got to see that in the theaters, because I actually didn't get to see Prince of Darkness until it was on videotape. That's when I saw it.
Me too.
I actually saw it on videotape.
It was on videotape. I remember going up to I forgot the name of the video store that was right up the street from me, the video store. But I liked Prince of Darkness, but I'm going with The Serpent and the Rainbow because I just thought it was a better film. I thought it was really wild too, just crazy,
I didn't like it. I saw that in movies too. I just didn't really like Serpent in the Rainbow too tough. It dealt with a lot of voodooism, and Bill Pullman was in there. He says that, he said, don't bury me, I'm not dead yet. And I was like, huh?
That shit was crazy, man.
I know.
And that's why to me it makes it scary, because voodoo is real. I'm sorry, voodoo is real shit. People do voodoo, and that shit is for real. So that's what made it scary.
And here, for me, I'm actually going with the Prince of Darkness, because I just like that movie more. But the thing about the Serpent of the Rainbow, what I loved about it was, I love the fact that how they loosely, and not as much as they should have, but they did a good job of it, how much they tied that, voodoo and science is like one and the same. But they did it without really saying that. Just the chemical parts of it, with the powders and all the stuff that they were using, specifically the powder they used to put people in the in that comatose state to where you didn't know whether they were alive or dead, which was crazy, because that's how, and it's based off of folklore of how people were controlled, and used to do the bidding of the dead. That's how you control people, and whatever the case may be. So I loved it, but I love Prince of Darkness more.
I think because of that, that's why I thought it was a better film overall, put together wise. But you guys go with Prince of Darkness, so Prince of Darkness wins. So at this point, if Wes doesn't sweep the next 5, he's gonna lose. He's losing 5-0 right now. So if he don't sweep the next 5, he's gonna lose. But okay, so let's find out. Number 6, shocker, Wes Craven versus number 6, They Live, John Carpenter.
Oh shit. You wanted this motherfucker to lose.
I told you, it's the setup. I'm gonna say this, right?
And shocker was dope.
Yeah, second job was working in the video store, and I got to see a lot of horror movies that really came out and flew way under the radar. And Shocker is definitely one of them. Shocker, and there's another one, I forget the name of it, but the guy that played one of Nick Nolte's partners in 48 Hours, he was in it. I forget the name of the movie, but you can see the same thing.
The one with Lou Diamond Phillips.
That's another.
Oh yeah,
one.
That was
another one.
The third power or something like that, or
the third power. Yeah, that's
power.
My father.
That was crazy.
My father, rest his soul, loved that movie. Like for years, he's like every time he would talk about it, I would get called out of the room.
Was it the first power?
The first power. That's what's called the first power.
The first power.
Yeah. That's what's called the first power.
She had the third power, which is the power of sight. She had the third power. That's the woman had that. The first power is immortality. It's being able to jump, and possession.
Jump through bodies.
Yeah. That's the first power. Yeah.
Yeah. So those 3 movies: Shocker, The First Power, and the Denzel Washington movie. Those 3 movies.
Fallen.
Fallen. Those were my father's movies.
Yeah.
But my father loved. My father loved The First Power. I don't know.
That was the best of the 3, in my opinion.
Of the 3, of the 3, definitely the best. Lou Diamond Phillips did his. Lou Diamond Phillips did his thing in that movie.
And my man that was in there who played the villain, he was good. That was that dude.
Oh yeah, him. Yeah. He was
a bad guy. Yeah, he was good. Good villain. That was a good movie. And I just want to say, y'all talk about setups. In my mind, Wes has 2 wins already, because I personally I was not scared by Christine. I thought Last House on the Left, in my opinion, was a little, because they were dealing with real people, it was a little more frightening. Christine didn't scare me. It was unscary about it, but it was just more frightening because of the.
It was nothing frightening about it either.
With real people.
It was purged. It was about rapists. Let's just keep it a buck.
Rapist, yeah, right. That's still scary. You know, don't tell me rapists ain't scary. All right, maybe not to men.
I'm not
not saying
it's not scary, but I thought I can't anything that's pervish or criminally pervish. I think is just I don't find it scary. It just angers me. So that's why like The Last House on the Left really didn't do anything for me. And actually the commercial for The Last House on the Left was a little deceiving because they made you think it was going to be this horror film, and it wasn't. It was nothing.
Yeah, it was totally different. It was like.
It was nothing what the
they made. I remember they made it like real creepy with the spotlight behind the house and the when it was like the middle of the night.
What about the one with the cartoon and the one they had that was like cartoonish? Yeah, one that was like a little cartoon. One commercial was like a little cartoonish, and I was like, "Yo, this is going to be scary." Like I was afraid of the commercial.
They had to. I think they had to find crafty ways of marketing.
I would have been mad if I would have spent my money on that.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, decent movie, but against Christine was better. But what I was gonna say with Shocker is that it came out in the late '80s when there was a bunch of horror movies that really flew under the radar that were trying to establish their own franchises, and I actually like Shocker, but.
And
sorry, man. They live. It was even a horror movie.
The Serpent in the Rainbow, in my opinion, that was my second win. That was definitely a win for me over him because I just thought it was a better movie than The Prince of Darkness. I just thought it was a better movie. And plus, like I said, once again, you're dealing with real life stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
the Prince of Darkness resonated with me more. Like you mentioned Serpent in the Rainbow. I look at the lead actor and I never can remember his name. But every time I see his face for Serpent in the Rainbow, I automatically transition to Independence Day. Like,
nah, I'm gonna you know when I see him, you know what I transition to him in Ruthless People. That's what I see. The guy from Ruthless People. That's who I really see in Serpent in the Rainbow. Like. That guy, or maybe what's his name from Spaceballs? No, really Ruthless People. I just see like this moron.
Every time I look at that dude, I like it automatically. Like I'm looking at Serpent in a Rainbow, and then it goes right to the speech of Independence Day.
The president.
We shall not go quietly in the night.
That's right. That's right, bro.
But we shall go quietly into the grave.
Yeah, he killed it. Serpent in the Rainbow was dope, man. I don't know. Y'all,
it was a good movie.
Yeah,
it was a good movie.
It was more realistic. I'm not more, but meaning like it's real life shit with voodoo. It was some scary, freaky, weird shit going on. But that's what I mean. So I'm only bringing it up because the score is the score. But I'm only bringing it up because I had no goddamn setup. I thought that would win actually. So, but anyway,
listen, I mean, you know what it is?
So,
it's like with the multiverses. Yeah, I mean, come on, they live versus Shocker, and don't get me wrong, like that is one of those movies like The First Power. Mm-hmm. I got the block in the theater, and I'm glad I did get to see it in the theater because it was definitely a good movie. Mm-hmm. But They Live, Rowdy Piper, and keep.
You never saw coming. You never saw that coming. Never saw that coming with Rowdy Piper. You're like, come on, man, the wrestler.
Rowdy Piper. That's right.
I am here to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and I am fresh at bubble gum. Like
Rowdy Piper.
Yo.
Okay, so all right, so They Live. Number 7, People Under the Stairs, Wes Craven. Versus number 7, Village of the Damned, John Carpenter.
Oh, damn. People Under the Stairs was good. The little boy made that movie, but goddamn, the Village of the Damned. Oh my goodness.
Fool.
Yo, listen, the original movie, The Children. That just in the drive-in. I remember when I first saw the commercial for The Children, and I was in Memphis at a drive-in.
The Children scared the shit out of me. Anything with kids scares the shit out of me. That's number 1. Anything with kids.
Yo, and as a matter of fact, I was we were at the movie theater watching we were watching a Chuck Norris movie, or it was either a Chuck Norris movie or it was that it was either a Chuck Norris movie or it was that movie with the what the hell is the name of that movie with the guys in the motorcycles with the rocket launchers and shit on the motorcycles. Oh God, what was the name of that show? They were like a team force, but they all run. Huh? No, it wasn't a Chuck Norris movie. I can't. There were two movies we watched that night, and when that trailer for Children of the Damned came out, there was the Chuck Norris movie. Oh, the Chuck Norris movie we were watching was the one with the with that creepy tall guy that just wouldn't die. That he kept kicking that wouldn't die.
Oh yeah, that was called.
Oh, that's the Hero in Terror. That's the Hero in Terror.
No, that was.
Or is it Silent Rage?
Silent Rage. That's what
Silent Rage. Silent Rage.
Silent Rage. Yeah,
Silent Rage. And then the other movie was called not Mask. What's the name of that damn movie? It was the movie with the guy with the beard, and they jumped out of the airplanes and with the motorcycles. They had the rocket launchers and stuff on it. They shot missiles from the. It'll come to me anyway. But I said all that to say.
That sounds kind of good though. Airplanes with motorcycles shooting rockets. Like, yo, what the hell?
I can't remember the name of that damn movie. When I'm gonna do a search for it.
So what's your point? What's your point?
But the bottom line is the children is what set me up. And Christopher Reeves, I never expected him to be in a horror film like that.
Yeah.
That movie was just it was
the children was that shit scared the crap out of me. The original, The Children. I remember that. That one actually, to me it was much scary. Not much scary.
Much scarier. It was more scarier.
Than the Village of the Damned. But yeah,
it was.
So now I'm gonna do the same thing with you just said. Every time I see Christopher Reeves, I think of Superman.
But you do.
You do. It's like Superman. I'm like, I saw these kids. You're Superman.
Wait a minute, I remember that in Street Smart where Morgan Freeman put a knife to his face. And I'm sitting thinking, yo, Superman, just blast him with some heat vision. Yo, use your super wing, something.
That's so bad.
Terrified.
Rest in peace, Christopher Reeves.
Terrified. Like, come on, man. Really?
He was typecast, but it's typecast in a good way. You are Superman. Everyone loves it to the point where people are criticizing Henry Cavill, who is a great Superman. But I'm just saying, he
know Christopher Reeve. He know Christopher Reeve.
But I see Christopher Reeve. I think Superman. I'm like Village of the Damned. Nah, he was good in that though. I don't know which one's better. So which one you going with, Kev?
Village of the Damned.
Village of the Damned. What about you, Ralph?
Man, the kid did say people under the stairs.
I like the people under the stairs as well. I thought it was very good. I thought it was a little. Once again, it seems like Wes Craven to me is coming with a lot of different shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing about him is that he was. I mean, because like you always have that idea. Even and ever since we came out, when I go to someone's house and they have stairs like going down to a basement, I'm like, yo, is someone living under there? Because it's always creepy. I don't care whose basement you go in. It always looks creepy down there. Creepy, cold, and dark. And you're like, yo, is someone living down here? So it's like that's playing mind. You know, like you're gonna say like hello, and you're gonna see eyes coming out of the dark or something, like yellow eyes or something. Like nah, and you be like, I'm going back upstairs. I'm not coming down here anymore. You know,
the people under the stairs. Oh man.
You know, I'm gonna stick with people under the stairs. I'm gonna stick with people under the stairs.
I went with that too. Probably because Kev bringing up The Children probably ruined it for me because The Children was just such a better movie. In my opinion, it was just scary. I'm saying scary movie. So that probably
and frankly, with the kid aspect, you know what I would put over Village of the Damned? I'm putting over Village of the Damned. Y'all gonna laugh when I say this. The episode is The Simpsons. When the town, remember when the town put all the kids on lockdown and they went to go see that movie and like their eyes used to glow blue and stuff?
Yeah.
That was scarier than Village of the Damned. And you saw like for like 30 seconds or something.
I think to me, the Children was probably one of the scariest movies involving children. Other than that, and Children of the Corn. Children of the Corn was scary too. The original one.
Yeah.
That one was scary too. All right. Well, Wes Craven gets one. He gets one. All right, one for Wes. Come on, man. You got to represent the Wes's, man. All right. So one for Wes Craven with the people on the stairs. Okay, number 8. Wes Craven's New Nightmare versus number 8, In the Mouth of Madness, John Carpenter.
Oh, fuck you for this one.
Okay, man. New Nightmare was. I mean, look, I've seen all the Nightmare on Elm Streets. The only 2 that are really scary are the 2 that Wes Craven did. Realistically true, and they really are. You know.
Yeah, they are.
Wes Craven took out a lot of the jokes. He took out really all the jokes from New Nightmare, and just left it on what it was. You know, we're redoing the Nightmare on Elm Street movie, but Freddy is real. He's not a man. He's real. And I thought it was brilliant with the actors, but keeping the actors who they actually are. Not
they are.
It really is Robert Englund, not Freddy. Robert Englund. He's scared. Yeah, he's scared of Freddy. And then you got the guy that was running New Line at the time where he's scared of Freddy. Everybody's scared of Freddy except Heather Langenkamp, who's Nancy because she's already dealt with him in the movies twice, but now she got to deal with this guy in real life. You know,
and dealing with her son. With
her kid. You know, I just thought it was a very refreshing take on Nightmare on Elm Street, where you really did bring him into the real world, because he really in this one he really existed. Mouth of Madness was okay, but it ain't no New Nightmare.
You know, Joseph Tanner says he quotes Freddy Krueger, "Welcome to prime time, bitch." that was actually in part 3. That was in the Nightmare on Elm Street part 3, the Dream Warriors.
Yes, in my opinion, there are only 2 Nightmare on Elm Street. The first one, and possibly the second one. The second one was good too. But honestly, there are only 2 Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
I like the Dream Warriors because Nancy came back.
Yeah.
I did like Dream Warriors because she came back, and then but they killed her in that one, right? She died in that one of it.
And unfortunately, like I said, there were only 2 Nightmare on Elm Street. The first one and Wes Craven.
I like the 6th one. I like the 6th one.
I didn't like that one either. All I liked was the first one, the third one, and Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I did like the Dream Warriors. I don't know why. I just did.
Yeah.
I did like that one. Welcome to prime time, bitch.
and that new one that they did, the new take they did on it was pretty good as well. It didn't suck. It wasn't bad at all.
No.
What?
The last one they did, the newest one they did,
the reboot.
The reboot.
It wasn't
that was garbage.
No, it wasn't garbage. That was actually acted really well. It was acted really well. It was put together well. I think the only thing it lacked from was the time period that it was released in. I think they could have made it a little bit more scarier. It had a more serious tone than all of them. It was
They definitely had a more serious tone to it with the Freddy Krueger. They showed a little bit of more of. They actually showed the parents go and burn Freddy down. In that one, I believe.
And also he was a child killer. Like they made this one versus the first Nightmare on Elm Street. You actually, looking at this one, you actually felt like Freddy was a child killer. Like that was form. Like they didn't let you forget that. Like, look, yes, they did set him on fire, but they set him on fire because he was killing kids. That in the Wes Craven version and in the other version, it was just that Freddy Krueger is the boogeyman. In this one, not only was he the boogeyman, he was the boogeyman. He was the creepy motherfucker that was killing kids. And it's all they said. They just said that he was killing kids. They didn't say what else he was doing. They just said he was killing them. So maybe it's my bad for doing that and for adding pedophilia onto Freddy Krueger, but anytime a kid is involved, if you kill a kid, in my opinion, you're on the same level as unless that kid is Damien, you know what I'm saying, the Antichrist, and he's actually killing people, you know what I'm saying. There's no reason for you to kill a kid,
No, I think it got a bad rap. I didn't think it. I definitely don't think it was. I didn't think it was garbage at all. It wasn't great. It wasn't super great, but it wasn't bad.
Nowhere near being a bad film.
It was nowhere near being garbage. It wasn't garbage.
I'm gonna tell you why. And I say this. First of all, they had the wrong person playing Freddy Krueger, Jackie Earl Haley. He's not tall like Robert Englund. He's a short little dude. Okay. Now, yes, he can make his voice sound creepy as hell. I grant that. And I'll even go further. If there was not an original Nightmare on Elm Street and you did this movie and this was the very first one, now you have a different story because you have there's no way you can compare. You cannot compare the remake without saying something about the original.
Well, I mean, of course, you're not gonna be able to do that. But that's the point of doing a retelling, is to do it differently. That's the whole.
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah, it is to do it differently, but it's also to do it better. It's not better than the original one.
Well, better is a matter of opinion. Hear me out here. Better is a matter of opinion when it comes to creating. Meaning, if they feel that they're telling a more complete story, they're giving you the full backstory of how Freddy Krueger is Freddy Krueger or whatever. They're telling the story differently. They're giving more. They gave him
a detailed account of
what Freddy or whatever. Gave you a little more. As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, you got a little bit of human Freddy Krueger before he was even burnt. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So like it went from showing you the crazy serial killer, child killer Freddy Krueger before, because you've seen, we've had years and years of Freddy Krueger in your dreams, right? So you got a little bit of real life Freddy Krueger.
They humanized Freddy before they demonized him.
Right.
They humanized him. So they made you. I don't want to say they made you sympathetic to him.
Definitely made you sympathetic, but they made it to me. They tried to make it more realistic, where it's like, oh, obviously the concept of Nightmare on Elm Street is but they made it. They tried to make it. They almost did the same thing. I say that they did the same thing or tried to do the same thing that they did with the Jason film, with the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Yeah,
they tried to give more perspective
with the first like they did with the first Friday the 13th, where they gave you a realistic reason as to why
Jason pops up everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like
I can grant that, but what I would say for that Friday the 13th movie, now personally, I love the first 15 minutes of that movie. That first 15 minutes Friday the 13th was like damn.
Yeah.
But after that, it just went left. And we're going to talk about this one of these days on the show. There are just very few remakes that really have
hits the mark.
And I'm sorry, Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th is not them. It's just I think you got maybe five.
I agree.
I honestly with those specifically with those two movies, I don't think either one of those movies missed the mark as a remake. I think for bringing it into current times and just making it giving it a more realistic and human feel. Here's the difference of what's been taken away, and we've talked about this before. The difference between now, with specifically with today's moviegoer versus when we were growing up, there's a level of innocence that we had back when we were growing up that is not here now. Yeah. And it's not to say that the kids nowadays are fast, or even our children, specifically when it comes to being left, or that our children were fast or whatever the case. But their access, because of video games, their access to the internet, and just because of the parents they had that allowed them to see their movies, they were exposed. Yeah, and they were exposed to more than we were. We had comic books and Fangora, and we had stuff like that. But really, when it came to some of these movies, we were on the precipice. Excuse me, my pronunciation of that word is just hard. It's one of those difficult words for me. But we were literally, along with the filmmakers, standing on the edge and jumping over the cliff with them, with some of these movies. So so our position on them would be, and our takes on them would be a little bit different, because we were there. We weren't there when they were made, but we were there when they were released, and a lot of that stuff was groundbreaking. It was new. It was, it inspired literally a whole new generation of stuff. Like and the same thing with Star Wars. So when it comes to, there's a bar that's, and I sometimes and specifically with the new, and it's Wes who the other day we were talking about the new Nightmare on Elm Street, that actually, it made me come to the realization, I panned that movie a little bit too much, because that movie was well acted. There were a lot of things in it that were good, that they did creatively, that made it, what it was for the time that it was released in. Because remember, when the original Nightmare on Elm Street was released, it was released during a time period of, a lot of us, for our ages, being 13, 14, 15 years old, was hell. We still closed our closets at night when it was, and the room was pitch black dark. You know what I'm saying? We still, some of us still checked under the bed to make sure there was nothing under the bed. So it was a different time period where, where our monsters were more imaginative, and this is not to say, this is not to say that these monsters didn't actually exist, because there were pedophiles, there were we just didn't hear those stories as much. Those stories
we didn't have access.
We're told
to them.
right. The monsters today.
We just didn't hear them. We didn't hear them.
Okay.
We didn't have access to them. And not. I don't want to get off the subject, because obviously that movie is not part of this thing. But So I don't even know how we got into that. But anyway,
we got into it because of.
I said it sucked. You guys are trying to explain why it doesn't suck.
So Wes Craven's New Nightmare is going to win this round. Yes.
Yeah. But one, and this is no discredit. I want to make this an official statement. This is no discredit to In the Mouth of Madness, because Sam Neill and Homegirl did their damn thing in that movie.
Yeah, they did.
That was a really that was another movie that I had nightmares about. After seeing it,
Under the Radar.
I got to see that in the theater.
Under the Radar.
Another one,
very good.
Under the Radar.
Under the Radar, very good film.
Yeah, but Wes Craven's New Nightmare, that was like,
that was very.
You reach back in your bag of tricks.
Yeah.
And reinvented this movie, and you basically reinvented the boogeyman and made him scarier than he was the first time.
And that's what I love about Wes Craven. Like he came back into it. He didn't just direct another sequel. You know what I'm saying? He said, you know what, if I'm gonna come back into it, because I've seen everybody go all these different ways with my characters, I'm gonna come back into this. I'm gonna flip it on some different shit as usual. And he said, you know what? The concept of it came from a nightmare, so I'm gonna make it like that in real life. This shit is, but so the fact that you showing him, and it really gives you that realism. It makes you feel real, because he's referring to the actual actors. You know what I'm saying? He's talking to the actors. You know what I'm saying? The actors coming back to play themselves.
Actually, the only two actors in this movie, was the little kid and the guy who was playing Freddy. Those are the only two actors, quote unquote, in the film, because everybody else was themselves.
Yeah.
But one thing I like because I've always heard many actors say, after they play a role, it takes a while for them to at least in that time, to wash the remnants of that role off of them. Like it sticks with you for a while. So you basically made a movie where you actually amplified that. Now you made a series of these movies, and now the imaginary characters have said, you know what, I actually want to be real. I want to be live. I don't want to be imaginary anymore. I want to really come into your world. You know, so you take so that I thought that part was the interesting part too, where you take what actors have felt for years and you really amplified it. You know, I don't know. That was just me.
No, I think I agree. So all right, so that one wins. Okay, we're rounding this off, and then we'll jump into the bonus round. We have number 9, Wes Craven, Scream, versus number 9, John Carpenter, Vampires.
Man, Scream was on television, I think, last night on CBS. Oh, and even though I know it was,
I'm gonna say this, and then you make your point, Ralph. Scream probably has one of the scariest first 5 minutes of any movie. But go ahead.
It does. But I was sitting there watching last night, and I remember going to see, because I think when the movie originally came out around Christmas time, and I was like, that's a weird time for a horror movie to be coming out. But it did really well. It certainly took the lessons that you learn for horror movies and put it on his ear, you know. And now I think the reason it was on CBS yesterday because now Drew Barrymore has her own talk show. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So she recreated her character for the talk show. And then she did the segment where she had people from the Scream movies that died in it to talk about their experience of how they died. Like one guy said, no, he actually asked to die with it and keep his eyes open. You had Henry Winkler. You had some of the people. So it's
cool.
it is kind of cool.
Show. I want to check that out because that's a cool concept for a show to bring on the actors, you know, that was in the film with you, and you know. But I mean, let's be honest. Everybody, Wes Craven. This is why, you know, although he's getting creamed in this competition, this is why Wes Craven to me is one of the best. Is because he's always different. You know what I'm saying? And he likes to bring a touch of reality to it. Now, what I mean by that is, so when he you know, like you said, you know, he kind of pulled a Alfred Hitchcock when he did Scream. You see what I'm saying? Scream is like a homage to all horror movies ever made. You know what I'm saying? Especially slasher films, right? Mm-hmm. But you know, he pulled an Alfred Hitchcock because Drew Barrymore was on the cover. And nobody expected her to die in the first 5 minutes of the film.
Nah.
Nobody did. He did the same thing Alfred Hitchcock did with Janet Leigh. Except she lasted a little more than 5 minutes, but in Psycho. But no one expected, she was the bigger name in Psycho at the time. No one expected her to die in Psycho, at least not that quick. Right? She made it about 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Of the film. Nobody expected Drew Barrymore to die in the first 5 minutes of Scream.
Especially not like that. I mean, she was not like that.
In the first 5 minutes of Scream was terrifying. It was terrifying. I'm sorry. It was terrifying.
It wasn't terrifying.
Bro, yes, it really was. It really was.
It was creepy because number one, they're talking about classic horror films. They're talking about Halloween. They're talking about this and you know, with the whole thing. And first of all of that phone stuff, like I said, it was all homage. That's why I love, you know, I'm a filmmaker that loves to pay homage and love when people pay homage. He paid homage to When a Stranger Calls in that movie. He paid homage to Halloween, you know, all the slasher films. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, in my opinion, he paid homage to Psycho by pulling a Alfred Hitchcock by you know with that, because that was how it was. That's what gets people. Okay, you got the main star, because Drew Barrymore was the biggest name in that movie. Yeah, period. She was the biggest name in that movie. She was on the box, and you're like, oh, okay. She was on the cover, on the poster.
And I think she's first. I think she's in the poster when they showed it. She's first.
She's first because she's the biggest name in the film.
And she was the first to go.
Well, she's first. She was first to go. But she was the biggest name build in that show, in that movie, because she was. and they did it so smoothly, like they did it so cleverly, and you're like, what? Wait a minute, no, wait, no, she's dead. They killed her already. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, and they killed her, and it's so cleverly. I don't know how to explain how he did this, but guess what? You killed off the main star of the film, and he somehow got you to move on and fall in love with these new characters. You know what I'm saying? Because you're like, wait a minute, did I see what I just saw? She got killed, hung, gutted, all that shit, and just fucked her up. And then he got us to move on and start new with a whole new set of characters that wasn't even in the, all those movies. They were in the first part of the movie, wasn't even in the movie no more. Her, the boyfriend, dead. Both of them were dead. Then you got what he should have did was make the boyfriend somebody famous too. That's what he should have did. He did it in the second one. He did it in the second one where he did Omar Epps and Jada Pinkett. Two famous people in the beginning, and then they got killed. But anyway, vampires. Whew. that was fire.
That was my pick.
It ain't Scream.
Scary.
That was fire though. That was fire.
That was the scarier movie of the two. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Right now, if the Men in Black came and flashed me and took Scream away, it wouldn't even bother me.
I definitely I'm struggling with this one because I thought both movies were very good. I thought Vampires was a very different take on vampires. That was number one.
Listen,
and that's just like I thought Scream was a different take on slasher films. And I like the fact, what I loved about Scream was the callbacks, the homage, stuff like that. The rules of surviving a horror film. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just thought that was dope. You know what I'm saying?
To me, it was just more camp. Whereas with vampires,
it wasn't really.
But that's the thing. It's not. That's the thing. It wasn't really camp at all.
It's really true, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about it, if you're a horror movie buff of a slasher film, there are rules to survive it. Like, if you want to say it, you can't do this, you can't do that, because people who always die. The only thing he didn't say was you can't be black.
Yeah, that's the only thing. They would have got their ass. They would have got their ass kicked.
They should have just had a black guy say, I gotta add a rule to that. You can't be black.
Yeah, because the black person always dies first.
Black person dies first.
Exactly. So he showed like, no, they don't. They don't always got black brothers. Don't always got to die first. First person out. Drew Barrymore.
Well, I'll put it like this: what changed the game with that was LL Cool J and Busta Rhymes are the two that changed the game with that. Specifically LL. Because LL was like, I don't give a damn what y'all do. I ain't dying.
Black nigga ain't dying in this movie. Like my man said in 8 Mile. He said, this is a horror film, but the black man don't die.
You know what? I'm gonna disagree with the two of you. No, it's not. The guy, if you really want to be technical, the guy, what's his name from Scream 2? That was the cameraman. He didn't die. He said no. He said because black people don't make it out of this kind of stuff. He tells you that in the movie, but yet he lived.
He did live.
He lived.
I don't think I saw Scream 3, so.
No, it's Scream 2.
It's in Scream 2. It's in Scream 2.
I don't think I saw that one either. I think I only saw Scream 1.
Because he was like, yo, black people don't make it out of this kind of situation. Yeah. So he did say that, but they waited to the second movie to say that part about black people.
Yeah. He did say that. I forgot he was in that. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Dwayne Martin played him. Yeah.
But for me, vampires made vampires real. Like vampires made me reconsider like what a vampire is and what a vampire can do. And if a vampire really wants you, you're not going anywhere.
He just has to glow and say, "I love you, Bella."
Yeah,
I love you, Bella. I thought about you all weekend. Paramount was showing Friday
the
and Saturday,
Twilight.
they had the Twilight marathon. I was like, I know Kevin sitting there with his popcorn, just watching, like enjoying it. Yes,
and his mask on. No,
Actually, honestly, I cannot watch Twilight while it's on
TV.
on any kind of network. Twilight is one of those things I cannot watch for commercials. I need to watch that without commercials. I can't.
Right.
I can't. There's some things I can't. Yeah.
Oh, get through it. Get through it as quick as possible. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But what I want to do is I want to add to your point, Kev. Vampires. John Carpenter's Vampires was a different take on vampires, and anyone who knows me knows that I love vampires. Those are my two favorite time travel movies, vampire movies. Those are my two favorite type of movies. I think John Carpenter's Vampires was just a different take on it. Number one, and he explains it how James Woods, who I don't really like in real life, but I like his movies. James Woods.
All right, you got a problem with James Woods? What's up with that?
He's a dick, but that's besides
the
point. Yeah. So we'll just leave it there. James Woods explains it. His character explains, forget what you saw in the movies. That's the first thing he says. That's his first line. Forget what you saw in the movies. They don't. And he said what probably what you would have said, Rob. He's like, they're not some old fairies jumping around with with English accents. Trying to wine and dine you. He's like, no, these fuckers are ugly. He was like, they don't. Crosses does nothing. He's like, yeah, okay. He's like, what I'm saying. So all of that stuff where he runs down that whole line about
he took away everything that you had as a defense.
Yeah,
he took away from
it all away. He said only two ways to kill these motherfuckers: stake to the heart, sunlight turns into crispy critters. That's all he said. Yeah. Sunlight turns to crispy critters. That's really it. You know what I'm saying? You cut their heads off, yeah, that too. But he's just like, yo. So that's what made it ill. And what also made it ill was the fact that they had the part where they had the upside down cross, and they were worshiping the upside down cross as they was doing that ritual so vampires can become daywalkers and walk in the light.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you had something like the time, what you're going against you had something to really go. They had a time. What's the word I'm looking for? They had a timer to go against it because there was a race. That's the word I was looking for. A race against time. You know what I'm saying? You had to stop them before they got all of the pieces of the puzzle and did this ritual, or else we're fucked. If vampires are allowed to walk in the daylight, we are done. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what he's saying. Your only real defense against a vampire is daylight, sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So now if you're dealing with vampires,
I want to say something, and I don't want to stretch this out, but I want to say something. Why in all of these movies do they always wait till fucking sunset to go kill vampires?
I don't know. They all do it. They even did it in that new vampire movie, Vampire versus the Bronx. I was like, what the hell y'all waiting on? Y'all waiting
not in Lost Boys. Not in Lost Boys.
They waited Lost Boys.
Lost Boys.
Yeah, with the exception of Lost Boys, not one movie do they say, you know what, we ought to get a good night's sleep and wake up at the crack of dawn and go kill
exactly. And spend all day killing vampires. That's what you're supposed to do. These motherfuckers get up and go have meetings. What are you having meetings for, nigga? Well, you know what we got to do. You got to kill these vampires. Now we only got a little more time left. You know, we've got daylight saving time. Fall back.
You think you want to be out there at 7:00 in the morning, so that way you have at least a good 12 more hours of sunlight to where you can do what you need to do. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah. So Joseph Tanner asks a question. He said, "I thought vampires could not walk about in the daylight."
That's right.
Good question, Joseph. That is true. But in the movie John Carpenter's Vampires, what happens is there is an old vampire like old ritual that they could perform, and if it is performed at the right time and the right location and everything had to be aligned. And it was like, I think it only can be done at a certain time too, if I remember correctly.
Just like in Bleed.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It had to be done at a certain time where vampires, and if you do this ritual, it makes it where vampires will be able to walk in the sunlight. So that's the whole point. So that's why they had to race against time, not only to kill these vampires, but to make sure that this, once they found, because remember, they didn't even know what they were trying to do at first. Once they found out what Valak, who was the main vampire, what he was trying to do, now it's like, oh, and they knew that the church was involved and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, as usual, they find a way in the church to get corrupt. They was involved in it too. You know what I'm saying?
And I want to make one more note. Who is the best? What is the best demon name in horror movies? Valak. You got Valak the vampire, and then you skip a couple of decades later, and enter James Wan in The Conjuring. And who does he pick to be his favorite? Valak the demon.
Oh yeah, right. That's true. I didn't realize that. I forgot that they used those names twice. That's a good point.
Both equally scary. Both equally. That scene where that damn vampire was coming after them in the night on that highway behind that pickup truck.
That whole scene was freaky. Not even that part, bro. The scene where he was on the ceiling. Like,
oh my god,
I was like, what the? And remember how he walks up on them. He just slaughters the whole team. He goes in there, cuts the dude in half, basically. Slaughters the entire squad. And it was just wild. It was it was funny because he had a whole squad of vampire hunters, and he killed all of them except two, except James Woods and the Baldwin guy. And he ended up getting bit too, right? So you had the Baldwin guy, James Woods, and the girl. Those were the only ones that was left.
When they did that in that hotel room, whatever that was, that scene was that was crazy. That was like I said, that's my movie. Over if I had to choose between the two, over that and Scream, it will be that every time. Now the ones that came after that weren't all that great. The sequels after that weren't all that great.
Nah. They're the one with Bon Jovi in it and shit. Nah. But that John Carpenter didn't direct
that. Nope. And that's why. That's why it wasn't that great.
Vampires. I mean, I'm gonna go with vampires as well. I just thought it was just done so well.
I can't even look at the case. That's why I'm glad all my movies are in boxes. Yeah. Like I couldn't even walk past my movies in the hallway. That's why all of my horror movies, when I had them lined up in the hallway, all the horror movies were towards the front of the house by the front bathroom, where when I walked by, I really couldn't see it because that vampire movie was like the even the spine of that case just looked creepy.
Yeah, it was very well done. A whole different take on the whole lore of vampires. It kind of it kind of changed the whole mythos of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, cool. All right, final. We know that obviously John Carpenter won, but the final Scream 2 versus Ghost of Mars.
I'm still taking Scream.
I'm going with Ghost of Mars.
This one I'm going with Scream 2, only because once again I wanted to go with Scream really bad. But I just, after I talked it, and I was going to go with Scream. But after I started reminiscing about vampires and I talked it out and I started thinking about, I'm like, nah, it was better. Because Scream went so, it made a bad turn, when it got too comical sort of, it really, he did with Scream what he didn't like that was done with Nightmare on Elm Street. You know what I'm saying? He kind of did that at the end, though. He did it at the end. So that but I love the Scream movies. I watched all of them and I became a big fan of them. I liked them for more reasons than what they just was horror films. Like I said, I liked them for the callbacks. I liked them for the homage that was paid. I liked all of those elements of the Scream movies.
Scream ruined horror, in my opinion.
Right. Bro, the first 5
Yeah, I
minutes
said
of
it.
Scream was crazy.
You look,
Sorry.
listen over there,
Anybody,
Edward. Listen over there, Edward. You're not in a
the
position to be talking about anybody ruining
listen,
horror movies with
listen.
Twilight.
I'm in the perfect position. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because the one reason why I like Twilight, because chicks like Twilight. I'm sorry, I'm an '80s high school guy, and if girls are into it, I'm into it.
God.
Bottom line.
Oh Lord.
Now, like I said,
Lost Boys
the
is
first-
on right now. There you go. You should have showed them that one instead.
the first Scream was dope. Was a good movie, but you know, after that, I was like, okay.
I mean, to me, the first Scream was really good because it didn't get they didn't get stupid until the end. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you didn't know up until that point, it was a little different. You didn't know that it was two killers. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't know that. So all of that stuff was, like I said, once again, Wes Craven, although he got creamed in this battle, Wes Craven is very different. I give him credit for him being very original with his ideas and different with his ideas. And that twist on Scream, no one saw that coming. No one saw that. No one knew that. They never saw that coming with the two killers.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
and it being, you didn't know who the hell it was and why they were doing it. You figure, when you thought it was the boyfriend, you saw him get killed. So he's like, I guess it ain't the boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? When you thought it was the boyfriend, you're like, it's the boyfriend. The Johnny Depp lookalike. I think it looked like Johnny Depp. So when you thought it was the boyfriend, you're like, it's definitely the boyfriend. And then the boyfriend gets killed. And you're like, what?
After using the rule, when you have sex in the movie, you die. So the girl doesn't die, but the boyfriend dies. And you're like, damn, who really is it? It really is the boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. And that's what they're saying. Well, you're not a virgin no more, Sid. Those are the rules. You gotta die.
Those are the rules. You gotta die.
And they were following the rules. I thought it was dope. I always thought it was, I couldn't put it over vampires because of what vampires did, because they made such a different, it was such a different take on the whole mythos of vampires. But Scream 2, I'm giving it over Ghost of Mars. That's my opinion. But either way, John Carpenter. John Carpenter wins.
I'm gonna say this. I like the Scream movies. I did not like all of Scream 4, but that first 10 minutes of Scream 4, I did really like when they had the various people showing the intro to stab movies kept going, and they saying, come on, this is some bull. And then out of nowhere, you got Buffy Christian Slayer killing Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's like, yo, what?
That's funny.
And now, bam, now we really starting.
Yeah. So I mean, they were doing that. Like I said, I like the whole. I like where they went with it. That's all I'm saying. I like what they were doing with it, but it was, it is what it is. All right, so let's breeze through the bonus round because I don't want to drag this on to midnight. So we'll breeze through the bonus round. Bonus round for the night is obviously John Carpenter wins. Sorry, Wes. Bonus.
Sorry, Chris. I'm sorry, Craven. You was set up. Set up.
I don't set up my own people. He's got my name, so I love him. So, here's the bonus round. The hashtag slasher showdown. I'll try to say that 3 times fast. Jason Voorhese versus Michael Myers. Okay. Now we're just gonna go down the line. Obviously, you got the movies that we had. I did not use Halloween 3, obviously, because he was not in Halloween 3. Michael Myers was not in that. That was Season of the Witch. And I did not use the original Friday the 13th Part 1 because that wasn't Jason Voorhees killing people. So there you go. Which they brought up in Scream, by the way, which is why she ended up losing, because he was like one final answer. And who was the original killer in Friday the 13th? She's like, Jason, it's Jason. He's like, no, I'm sorry, you're wrong. She's like, no, I see that movie like 10,000 times. Don't tell me it's freaking Jason. He was like, well, if you've seen the movie, you would have known that Mrs. Voorhees was the killer. That was great. So anyway, He's like, sorry, but thanks for playing. Then he killed the boyfriend. Okay, so here we go. Friday the 13th Part 2. The first appearance. Well, the first appearance of Jason was the end of Friday the 13th, but the first appearance of Jason killing my bikes. Friday the 13th Part 2 versus Halloween.
Just because I'm going to side with you guys, I'm going to go with Halloween.
Halloween wins.
I'm not gonna take
I believe that too. Halloween's going to take it on this one, definitely. We already know there's no need to ask you, Kev, because I'm saying Halloween as well. And
wait, what was that?
Halloween versus Friday the 13th Part 2. The first appearance of Jason versus the first appearance of Michael Myers.
Yeah. Oh God.
I'm gonna go on record to say before we even finish this up, Jason definitely is the more versatile killer.
Yeah,
because he killed all types of ways.
Well, unfortunately, as much as I love Halloween, Friday the 13th, specifically that movie, one because I had a crush on Amy Steele. And I had a serious, I don't know what was wrong with me. I had a real crush on Amy Steele. I don't know why. It was like, it took me a while to like get it. I don't know what it was about her. I saw her in that movie and I just automatically had a crush on her. I don't know what it was about her. Huh? What'd you say, Ryan?
Hormones? Hormones?
Oh, you said hormones.
No, he said hormones. Nah, I don't think it was that. It was just because the crush actually lasted up into my 20s. I don't know what it was. It was just something about her. I just loved her. And in that movie, I think that she really did a good job in that movie. Like her acting was really good in that movie. I'm actually gonna go with Friday the 13th on that one.
Okay.
Part 2.
I went,
but obviously Halloween wins, but
Halloween wins, but you're going with Friday. I got you. Like I said, I couldn't go with Friday the 13th. To me, Friday the 13th, you know, they were scary. They definitely were scary, especially the earlier versions. But it wasn't it wasn't as scary to me because it just wasn't nothing that I ever experienced. I never went to camp. I never dealt with camps and stuff like that. Halloween felt more real to me because it was just he was just in your neighborhood on Halloween. You know what I mean?
Not in your neighborhood. That mother just walked in your house like, you know what? Hey, I live here.
I know.
Yeah, I know you live where I lived here. It's my crib. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, whatever you have, if you want it, bro, you move back in. But okay, so Halloween wins on that one. Okay, number 2, Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D versus Halloween 2. I'm already gonna say it. Halloween 2 was very scary to me, especially because I grew up with asthma and I was in the hospital a lot, and that hospital shit scared the crap out of me. You know, him going through because I'm telling you, that's real. Not I'm talking about Michael Myers, but the hospital is a freaking ghost town in the middle of the night. There's no one in the hospital. You're like, yo. So you got, and I remember distinctively being in the hospital after that damn movie came out. And I remember I was in the hospital admitted for asthma, and I had to get up and go to the bed. I didn't want to get out of my bed. I was like, yo, I had to get up and go to the bathroom. I was like, Lord have mercy. And then when you go out, if you have to go out and check on to see if go to the nurse's station, there's nobody in the hospital. And I'm like, I don't know if it's a little bit different now. More people work night shifts and stuff now.
No, it's not. It's still vacant in there.
No, it's not.
It's
hospitals
it's
at
still
night
vacant in
still,
there. It's basically
and it also depends on where you live. But all even in major metropolitan areas and hospitals at night are ghost towns. Everybody sleeps.
Right.
The night staff is usually thin. There's only like 3 or 4 people that are in housekeeping. They're actually doing any cleaning at night. So that's still relatively is the same.
But I'm gonna say this. I'm going with Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D because that was number one, my favorite Friday the 13th. It was definitely scary, and I just thought it was cool with the 3D. I saw it in the movies, 3D, and it was it was 3D in the right places too. It wasn't all crazy.
Yep.
I mean, when he shot the harpoon, I took my glasses off. I took my glasses off. I swear to God, the harpoon looked like it was coming at you.
Listen. I remember the summer that came out. I was in camp. I was at the Martin Luther King Center. We were in camp, and that was our camp trip. We went to the city. We saw it on 42nd Street. And they had the glasses were white. The frame of the glasses were white, and the lenses were green.
Yeah.
And man,
oh dude, I literally took the glasses off on that part because that damn harpoon was coming out the screen. I was like, yo, somebody's gonna shoot me for real with a harpoon from the stage or something.
And now the sad part for me on this one is that's my favorite Halloween too. I mean my favorite Friday the 13th as well. Because that was the first Friday the 13th that I saw in the theater. Because the other two I actually saw on HBO. The first three, the first two I saw on HBO during the HBO had like a marathon of Friday the 13th, and they just kept playing them back to back the summer before.
And remember, Friday the 13th Part 3 was the first. That was the first time Jason got the hockey mask. That was the birth of the hockey mask.
Yeah.
Part 3.
Yep.
Because he had like a bag over his head in part 2.
Like a bag.
It was just like a bag. But I was smart by them. They were like, that this bag ain't gonna work. We need something marketable. We need something we can market. We need something we can make a Halloween mask out of. And what they do, jackpot. They hit it out the park.
They took. Listen, hockey is like baseball. It's like an American apple pie in the Northeast. Yeah. Like if you live in the Northeast, hockey is your thing. Like, and they brought it home. And where's Camp Crystal Lake based out of? New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know exactly where it is. I know exactly where it is. You're not kidding. You go by there and you like, oh shit.
So it's an actual Camp Crystal Lake?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or is it just a part where they filmed Camp Crystal Lake?
No, I don't know if they actually filmed it there, but there is a Camp Crystal Lake in New Jersey. And when you go by there, you look out there and you're like, I ain't getting out this car. Nope. Nope.
That's crazy. So why the hell? You know what's funny? Just a quick side note. You know that they got this big life-size statue of Jason in the bottom of one of those rivers in like Minneapolis or something like that. Why don't they have it at Crystal Lake in Jersey? They got a statue. It's a life-size statue of Jason.
They got out there in Minnesota, I think, because it's like 100 lakes out there, so they stuck it out there. But it should really be in Jersey, but
why? I think one of those lakes out there in that area, they filmed one of the movies out there at that lake as well. Because I don't think they weren't all filmed in Jersey.
No, I don't think any of them might have been filmed in Jersey. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
I don't think so either.
I'm trying to say, okay.
Some of them, one of them, I think it was either part 2 or part 4. By the way, it looked like it was filmed in like upstate New York. Like some of them looked like they were filmed in upstate New York.
Like in a Catskill, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
they filmed this.
Yeah. Okay.
They're really
filming locations. Western Connecticut. They filmed. Part 3 was filmed in California, which makes sense. What was this one? The 4th one was shot. Where is that?
What's the name?
Where it is? Huh? I'm looking for it.
What's the name?
I'm looking. My blind ass can't see it.
Oh.
You're like, what's the name? What's the name?
Three 3 was filmed in Connecticut. Number 3 was filmed in
yeah.
Connecticut. Right.
Yeah. This one they said 4 is Zaka Lake. I don't know what that is, where that is. Where the 4th entry was shot has been a popular shooting location since the days of these films. Yeah, but they're not showing what state it's in. This is a crappy. I'm like, give me the filming locations. I'm like, what a crappy account of it. But anyway,
it says here they filmed number 4 in Topeka Canyon in Newhall, California.
Okay,
that's where they did number 4.
That was the final chapter. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's before we get into all of that, let's finish the list. Okay, so who wins that second one? Is it Friday 13th Part 3 or is it Halloween 2?
I'm gonna go with Part 3.
Part 3 one, I think.
Yeah, because
I think for that Halloween.
Yeah, I think for that, more importantly, that's the first time you see him in the hockey mask.
Hockey mask. Yeah, he doesn't get it till middle of the movie too.
Yeah,
the hockey mask. Not the middle, but he isn't getting it after his first kill. He killed a couple people first. All right, cool. Number 3.
He ended up killing Homeboy. He ended up killing the
dude
fat
who had the hockey mask. Yeah, the guy who had the harpoon.
Yeah.
But he had killed a couple people before that. But you hadn't really seen him at that point. So they made it where you could see Jason because his face is so messed up. Nobody wants to look at it, right? So Part 3, number 3, Friday 13th Part 4, the final chapter versus Halloween 4, the return of Michael Myers.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go
with the girl that was Laurie Strode's daughter, who was actually named Jamie. Homage to Jamie Lee Curtis. They named the character Jamie. She, so that was the return of Michael Myers. That's when he obviously called that because Part 3 was the Seasons of the Witch, where we didn't have Michael Myers. So, and this is where he returned. Whatever. And Friday 13th Part 4 was the final chapter with that was with Corey Feldman, who played the actual kid who actually supposedly killed Jason.
Yeah, that's why I'm going because that scene the end where he stabs him and hits him in the head, and you see Jason's face sliding down the knife. I was like, damn, that was cold. That was cold.
And he actually did kill Jason. He killed Jason. Jason was dead.
Yeah,
he killed Jason. So that was a good one. I think I'm gonna go with that one as well. I thought that was a good one. Okay, number 4, excuse me. Friday 13th, A New Beginning versus number 4, Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers.
I'm just gonna say, for me, it's always gonna be, and I love, and the crazy part is, I'm a huge I love Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
but I religiously watch. I'm biased when it comes to Halloween because I religiously, like just a week ago, last weekend, I binged all of the Halloweens except for the the only ones I didn't get to were the 2 Rob Zombie ones. And that was by accident. That's because I started watching.
I'm going with that one too. Halloween, The Revenge of Michael Myers. New Beginning, I didn't like because, like I said, Jason was dead, and it wasn't even Jason killing in the New Beginning.
Yeah, exactly. It was the ambulance driver, whoever the hell he was,
which was
like, well, who the hell is you, man?
Yeah. So okay, number 5, Friday the 13th, Jason Lives versus number 5, Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers.
Listen, hands down. And don't get me wrong, again, I love Friday the 13th. But everybody, I even remember when this came out, because me and Wes was amped about this, because this has been years. Like, there hadn't been a Halloween movie for years. And we were waiting, like, oh my God, can't wait for this. And finally, we get to see with the boots and the hat that broke him out of prison. Everybody was waiting for that. It was like, listen.
Yeah,
Listen,
the curse of Michael Myers. Yeah. Well, Ralph, what do you got?
I'm sorry, I gotta get that to Jason Liz. I think for the reason that the girl kind of like no wait a minute. Which is the one where the girl had the telekinesis?
That's
That's
the
the New
next
Blood.
one. That's the New Blood.
Okay.
that's the next.
Jason Live is when he
That's
actually was brought back to life.
right.
Oh yeah,
right.
yeah. The girl that was in
It was Tommy. It was Tommy's
It
fault.
was Tommy, right?
Grown Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
who
it brings
dig
him back
up
to
his
life.
body. He's, I gotta see it. I gotta see it. And then his boy, aka
the electricity, the lightning strike.
Horseshack from Welcome Back Kotter was his boy.
Yeah, that's the one where it just gave me the overall conclusion that white people in horror movies are really stupid. Like I have to go see. I gotta no. I can't go see Jason's grave. No, I gotta bury the. I gotta dig for the body. Then I gotta open the casket and I gotta make sure he's dead. No, dumbass. And it just so happens to rain. It so happens that you take a lightning bolt gets created and pops Jason in the chest and he pops back to life with worms. Come on, man. Dumbass.
This one just got crazy.
Listen, and that movie was good. Listen, and that movie was
cool.
good.
I liked it. I liked it for what it was, but it just wasn't the curse of Michael Myers. Michael Myers is just off the chain.
Listen, and that was the last one, and that was the last one with Loomis. That was the last one with Loomis.
That was the last one with Loomis. Good point, Kev. That is the last one with Donald Pleasance playing Dr. Loomis.
Because everybody thought
actually in the
Loomis was dead, but everybody thought, he died at the end of the filming of that one. Yeah. But everybody thought Loomis was dead in the last one.
Yeah.
Everybody thought that he was dead in Revenge of Michael Myers.
I remember my mom. Once again, my mom's, rest in peace, we was talking about this. So she was like, "That damn Loomis got more lives than Michael Myers."
Yo,
she's like, "That nigga won't die neither." That's exactly what she's like. She said he will not die. Like every time, he got more lives than Michael. Yep.
And here's the thing that made me really respect Loomis. Is the fact he stood right next to Michael and Michael didn't kill him. Oh, he did stab him in the shoulder with the blade. He did stab him in the shoulder with that big ass kitchen knife. But he stabbed him in the shoulder. He didn't try to kill him.
Well, he hit him. He hit him. He also caught him. I think in part 2 he hit him with something too. He caught him with a what's that called? A scalpel or something like that. He got him.
Yeah. That's right. He stabbed him with the scalpel and then the leg or something. That's how he ended up getting a limp.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. All right, cool. Let's go on. Let's move on so we can get through this. So they Michael Myers again. Number 6, Friday the 13th, The New Blood versus number 6, Halloween H2O.
I'm taking Halloween H2O.
I just got a newfound respect for H2O because I only saw H2O twice. I saw it in the movie theater, and then I just saw it the other day, last weekend when I watched it, and it was refreshing to see it again because I like I said that's the first time LL Cool J was in. I think that was his first horror film.
That was definitely his first horror film. Shout out to Jimmy Ace. He says, "You don't know what death is." A famous Loomis.
Line, yes.
Dr. Loomis. That is probably the most realist 100 freaking thing you can say. This motherfucker come out saying he mad, so dude, I've been trick-or-treated to death all night. That boy looked at him and said, "You don't know what death is."
What really death is. Yeah.
You don't know what death is.
Yeah, Loomis and that cop that was rocking with him for those 2 films. Anyway, staying on point with H2O.
He was on point. On point with that.
I got a newfound respect for that one. That Halloween H2O was not a bad movie at all. I don't know why I always thought that it was, but it wasn't. They really pulled that off really well.
I thought it was very well done. Well,
but I gotta go with Friday the 13th on this one. And don't get me wrong, It was nice to see Jamie Lee Curtis back in that one, but working with Tina, and this is the funny thing. Both of these movies got Tommies and Tinas in it.
Tommies and Tinas, yeah. Tina, the New Blood was cool because for the first time, Jason was getting his ass kicked.
Ass whooped. And couldn't understand. He was bewildered.
That girl.
He was bewildered because he couldn't understand what the fuck was going on.
He didn't understand what was going on. Like, how was she doing this?
I can't deal with this. And I love, I love the fact that it was because telekinesis is one of my favorite things to deal with. That's why I love Carrie so much.
Yeah.
Even though Carrie was a horror film, but it wasn't, everybody always considered Carrie to be a supernatural movie, but it really isn't. It's actually telekinesis, but one would argue that telekinesis is actually the summoning of spirits.
Yeah.
If you depending on what you're believing at it. So that's why I found this one interesting because of the spiritual levels of what Jason is. Because at this point, like Michael Myers, he has now gone beyond the realm of the natural. He is now a supernatural being, in my opinion. So it was nice to see this, the battle of the supernatural. You got ESP, and in its truest form, and in its purest form as well in Tina. And then you have the doctor trying to manipulate her, and all the stuff that they had going on with this, with the backdrop of being at this site where this killer is running around killing people. I just thought it was dope. And don't get me wrong, I loved H2O. Again, H2O was a dope movie, but that was definitely a new beginning for Friday the 13th.
I think that's a good point. I think the impact of H2O was so big though, return of Jamie Lee Curtis, the return of Laurie Strode in the story. Laurie, and it was that turn. It was also, and I'm gonna tell you this is the thing. I went to see H2O, shout out to Heaven Hollywood. I went to see H2O with my brother, Heaven Hollywood, right? We went to see H2O. For the first time, this is the first time I ever witnessed people cheering for the villain. When Michael Myers came on screen, the freaking theater erupted. They was like, yes. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And it was like, now it might have been because once again, remember these films were pretty good years apart. Just like we was talking about with Halloween 6, we was, it hadn't been Halloween in a while. It hadn't been, and then you come with H2O, it's like the return of it. You got Jamie Lee
20 years later.
Myers, 20 years later. It was like such a big impact. And when Michael Myers, I was hearing people saying, Killer, bitch, and stuff like that. I'm sitting there like, yo, I've never heard that before in a horror film. You know what I'm saying? So that was crazy. That was me experiencing millennials, I guess. That was my experience with the new generation. But even people from my generation was just happy to see Michael Myers. You know what I'm saying? And the whole showdown between that movie began the showdown between Laurie and Michael.
Yeah.
And that started that, because before that's when Laurie stopped being the victim and started taking control of shit.
Which was why I had such an issue with the newest Halloween, because I was like, yo, how you just gonna ignore that movie? Yeah, and then give her a daughter and just take the son away like he didn't exist. I thought it would have been nice to show, but I understand why they did it, because she did fall off the top of the building, so they had to.
No, that's the second one. That was the resurrection when she fell off the building.
Well, right. Right, but still, she ended up.
Well, they had to take all of that away because of that, and they had to just kind of jump. And because this one, even though it wasn't directed by Carpenter did come on as a consultant and a producer, and they wanted to show respect to him and
by starting off after Halloween 2.
After Halloween, right? After Halloween, actually, yeah. Well, Halloween 2, he didn't direct that one either, but at least Halloween 2 stayed to the whole mythos of it. It took place pretty much the same night. So, that's why I don't really. I think they should have counted Halloween 2. Really, they didn't seem to count that either, but they should have.
Well, they counted it. But what they did was they didn't count the fact. What they did was the reason why they really didn't count it as much was because of the fact they weren't counting the fact that he was Laurie Strode's brother. Like they wanted to get into that.
They wanted to get away from that. Yeah, they wanted to get away from that. So that's where the part where they didn't want. So, all right. Well, so I have to go with H2O though. Ralph, where you going with?
I'm going with H2O. I agree. The part where she decides to look, I'm tired of running from this guy. I was like, okay, all right. And side note, I used to live with a girl who was scared of horror movies. Scared. Like we went to go see it with my goddaughter, and she started screaming in the movie, and everybody was looking at her in the movie like, why are you screaming? It's not even that scary. But my ex-girlfriend used to have you didn't use horror music, so every time she would make me mad, I had a sound system in our house. So she would go into the bathroom, I would go in and put H2 on just when the Halloween music starts to play, and she come around back to my Ralph, stop that, that's not funny. Every time she pissed me off, I would do that. So
play that, yeah.
Lady,
I used to do that to my daughter. My daughter used to be really afraid of that music too, and I used to play it just to get her scared. I used to do some funny things.
I would turn it up as soon as the bass kicks in. You turn it just before the bass kicking when it's like the flute. You turn it all the way up, and then the bass kicks in. It's like dun, and she'll come right back and say, "Stop it! That's not funny." Yes, it is. Look, good thing they didn't have cell phones back then, because I would have put that would be a me.
You'd have been like World Star. No, right?
Yeah.
No, but okay. So let's move on. That wins Friday 13th part, whatever it was. Jason Takes Manhattan versus number 7 Halloween Resurrection. I'm going on record to say I didn't like neither one of these films. Jason Take Manhattan was funny though. The funniest part of Jason Take Manhattan is when he knocks that black dude's head off at the top.
But you know what? They
one punch.
They kept that scene. They kept that scene so New York, and that's what I appreciated that movie.
That's what I liked about it.
They squared up. Dead ass. They dead ass squared up like, yo, B, check this out. Listen, I ain't running from nobody. We squaring up.
Yep. We squaring up. He fought him. And that's what I liked about it too. I'm actually picking that one over Resurrection. I did not like Resurrection.
I love Resurrection.
I didn't like Resurrection. I wasn't really happy with them killing Jamie Lee Curtis's character. I understood, wasn't really happy with it. And I thought the Busta Rhymes character was just ridiculous. I thought that
he needed to die.
That was just stupid.
He should have died.
I mean, you're gonna do karate, some fake ass karate on Michael Myers. Come on, man.
But that's why he got killed. But that's why he got killed.
That was whack.
But I loved it for so many reasons. But I also loved it because Katie Sackhoff. That's another one I got.
No, I don't think he didn't kill Busta Rhymes in that movie. Busta didn't get killed.
I don't think he did.
Yes, he did.
I think Katie died. I think Tyra Banks died.
No, Tyra Banks died.
Busta Rhymes did not die.
Busta got hurt. But
he didn't die. And that's what I'm saying. And that whole you doing some old fake ass kung fu.
Yo, dog, I know karate, dog.
Show enough. You should have been
I'm the master, dog.
That's what it was. He did that movie. He did that video where he was acting like Show Enough, and it got into his head. Now he want to do karate in a horror movie. I was like, that's whack. That movie to me was whack. It was a waste.
I think they put it together well. At first when I first saw it, I was like, come on, this because it was the era of them starting with the reality TV stuff, and I already didn't like reality TV, so that was the reason why I had a problem with it. But watching it the other day, I had a newfound appreciation for it, for how they put it together. The kills were good. The casting was actually really outside of Busta Rhymes, the casting was really good. Even with Tara Banks' character. I do agree that Busta Rhymes probably could have been replaced with somebody else, that he was a little bit over the top.
I just thought that whole thing, that whole thing, right? I know, right? The whole thing is no matter who you replace him with, that character being that's not happening, bro. You know what I'm saying? That brings me back to what should have happened is what happened in Jason Takes Manhattan. That's what should have happened to Busta Rhymes trying to do karate on Michael Myers. Michael Myers should have knocked his head off. You know what I'm saying?
But again, it was probably in Busta Rhymes' contract that I'm not dying.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's why.
Wait. I gotta say, let me tell you something. You know how many people I have heard have said it was an honor to die in one of these movies?
Yeah.
Like Kelly Rowland said that she wanted to die. Like her character, mostly speaking, wasn't supposed to die, but she wanted to die. So they killed her off. They killed her off. That has got to be an honor to be in a horror movie with one of the icons, whether it be Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, whoever, and you get killed by him. You know, I mean, I would think that you would want to go.
But at that time, it was the height of Busta Rhymes' career, so I can kind of sort of see why he didn't
matter though. I know, I understand why he would say he don't want to, but I'm just saying, to me, that just made me like, are you serious? Like, to me, that movie was set up nicely in the beginning with Laurie being in the crazy house and him coming in, him coming in and
and actually, in my opinion, that was a throwback to Jason in Friday the 13th Part 3, where he went and tracked down Amy Steele's character and killed her in her house.
Yeah,
because she survived.
Yeah, he's going. So that part of it was good, even though I didn't like the fact that they killed her, but I understood them killing her off in it, and I was like, all right, fine. But for me, the movie went downhill from there. But I'm going with Jason Takes Manhattan because I just thought it was, I don't know. I didn't like neither one of the movies really, but Jason Takes Manhattan amused me more. Like I said, because what happened at the end of that fight is what should have happened at the end of Busta Rhymes' fight with Michael Myers. He should have got his head cut off or thrown off or knocked off or something, because there's no way you karate sizing Michael Myers. It's just not happening. So let's move. Number 8 was Jason Goes to Hell.
Who won that one?
Oh. Who wins that one? I'm going with Jason Takes Manhattan.
I went with Halloween.
Yeah.
So who you
I'm going with Jason Takes Manhattan.
Okay, so Jason Takes Manhattan wins that one. Let me just Friday 13th.
It's pretty much a landslide that Friday the 13th pretty much got this one.
No, it's not a landslide. What are you talking about? It's 4-3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's 4-3. Michael Myers. Okay, so all right, so now we're at number 8. Jason Goes to Hell. That's a stupid name. I always hated that from the first name. Jason Goes to Hell. I'm dealing with 2 movies again that I don't like. I did not like any of the Rob Zombie remakes of Halloween. I thought they were. I didn't like them at all.
I do like them.
He Rob Zombied us. He made everybody trailer trash in the movie.
No, he didn't. He didn't make everybody trailer trash.
Yes, he
did. He didn't make everybody. No. He didn't make everybody trailer trash. But what he did do was, he gave you a picture into realistic Midwestern, Northern Midwestern life. It wasn't trailer trash, but Northern Midwestern lifestyle. He did. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. He did not trailer trash.
I'm gonna tell you this. He Rob Zombie does. And then another thing I didn't like about it is, although we talked about this earlier about the previous film, yes, he tried to give more insight to the background of Michael Myers and all that other good stuff. But in my opinion, I don't think that was necessary with Michael Myers because some people, just as Loomis explained, some people are just evil. They're just evil. There's no reason to give Michael Myers a backstory so you can feel sorry for him. There's no reason for that.
Well,
And
wait,
No, let me finish. Let me finish my point. Yes, Joe, you did feel sorry for little Michael Myers.
No, you did not. You know, that's a personal problem. That's a personal problem for you, buddy. Because I did not feel sorry for Michael Myers.
What he did with Loomis,
that's the only thing I did.
What he did with Loomis was garbage.
No. You know, I don't blame Michael. I don't blame Rob Zombie for that. I blame that actor.
He wrote the character. No, I don't blame the actor. That what they did with the character, they made Loomis was more. He was more like, whereas the first Loomis, Donald Pleasant's Loomis, knew that Michael Myers. He knew that he made a mistake, not locking Michael Myers up forever, and he felt
he didn't make the mistake. He didn't make the mistake. Others made the mistake.
Michael Myers, but what I'm saying is, he felt Michael Myers was his responsibility.
Right.
He knew that Michael Myers was evil and he had to die. This dude's take on Loomis was more sympathetic or empathetic to Michael Myers. Even the way he talked to him, Michael, come home. Nah, bro.
You know what? I don't think he was being empathetic about Michael Myers.
Bro, did he not
I don't think he was being empathetic.
Come home, Michael. Nah, son. Loomis is like, it's time. God. Loomis was pulling out a ratchet. Michael, come home. He shot him 6 times. You heard him? I shot him 6 times. That's the Loomis we need. This dude wasn't trying to shoot Michael Myers. This Loomis.
All right.
This Loomis was trying to psychoanalyze Mike.
Yeah. But see, I'm gonna jump in with this with that part. Now, you just gave me all the stuff about the backstory to Freddy Krueger. Now you got the backstory to Michael Myers.
I just thought it was not necessary for Michael Myers because of the history of Michael Myers just being this, how they set him up. And let me make my last point on why I hated the Rob Zombie movies. I hated the fact what made Michael Myers, in my opinion, so scary is because he was kind of like a regular dude. Like, he wasn't that tall. He was like 6 feet, whatever. Wasn't he was towering. Wait, let me finish. Was not no towering, crazy. This motherfucker got the Undertaker.
No,
who was that? Tyler Mane.
Tyler Mane is kind of tall. He's tall. He's pretty tall.
Yeah. Listen. Granted. On that part you are right, but on that part you are also wrong, because if you go back to H2O, if you go back to The Curse of Michael Myers, if you go back to those movies, he was excuse my language, Michael Myers was a fucking lunatic.
No, he was a lunatic, but he was never. I'm saying what I mean is what also made him so scary to me is because he was just regular dude. You know what I'm saying?
He wasn't just regular though, because in those other movies,
he wasn't no towering giant. Who the hell ain't gonna be scared of freaking the Undertaker? You know what I'm saying? You go. To me, it wasn't necessary to make him this tall, towering, massive giant. This guy was 7 feet tall.
Like I said before, with what we talked about with Nightmare on Elm Street, you have to a degree, be able to, which is something that I found myself to be really good at. I am able to let go of what came before and to be able to watch.
I understand what you're saying, but in this case, why you let go of it? Yeah, you can let go of it, but it's a remake of the movie, right? And okay,
right, but all your points are pointing back to what was. This is not what was. Even the basis of
that's why it wasn't scary to me though. It's like, okay, just do what's scarier? Michael Myers that we see do something and snap somebody's neck or pull somebody, do something with his bare hands, or this big ass Undertaker. Of course, he gonna rip somebody apart. He's big as hell.
Wait, hold it. Flag on the field. If that's the case, once again, the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street. You got Robert Englund, who's like 6 foot something, and you got Jackie Earl, who's like 5'3". Listen.
All I did was don't bring Nightmare on Elm Street back up. Because all I said about that was that it wasn't terrible. That's all I said. I never said it was better than the original.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that part. Like you're talking about the height thing. What you at the height that you are, if Webster comes up to you and he's got a butcher knife in his hand, are you really going to be scared of him?
Webster in his forehead.
Exactly. So now you got Jackie Earl Haley playing Freddy Krueger, who's shorter than you. You really gonna look at him like bitch, please get out of my face.
No,
you're not gonna be scared of that.
In his case, because he's burnt and got knives on his hand. He's burnt up and scary. Now you're talking about Webster. He wasn't no Webster size. So
listen, and also Webster can stab you in your knees. So let's keep it
but he got stabbed on knees before I kick him in his forehead.
Exactly. Kick you a little baby nuts and see what you say.
But the bottom line is the bottom line is though the Rob Zombie Halloween weren't bad films at all. They weren't bad films.
Rob Zombie Halloween were
particularly the second one. The second
one, he was just nasty in the second one. I'm like,
I mean, like I said, it's the second one. He turned from the Undertaker to Kane. I mean, that's pretty much what it was. I was like, tell you that he goes from the Undertaker to Kane. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, you're not selling me on those Rob Zombie movies, man. That was to me. The one thing I prayed for. When I heard he was redoing them, I was like, please don't Rob Zombie us. Please don't Rob Zombie us. Please don't Rob Zombie us.
But what does that mean? He didn't Rob Zombie us on any movie.
Bro,
I mean,
yes, he did, man. He Rob Zombie us. He turned that film, that beloved franchise film, into a Rob Zombie movie.
Stop. You know what? You're being ridiculous.
With all the type of the typical look.
Let's Halloween win. Halloween is this round. Let's move on to the next one. He did not. Stop it. Stop it.
I gotta go with Chad with this one. I don't think he Rob Zombie does. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
If you're gonna say he made Halloween look like a sequel to The Devil's Rejects, you might have a valid point there where he did have
that means he robbed.
Yeah, but he didn't do that. It didn't even look like 1,000 corpses. He didn't do that.
The second one.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
All right.
Like I said, House of a Thousand Corpses.
House of a Thousand Corpses. Those Rob Zombie movies.
Hell, even.
But they were unfortunately they were better than the crap that Friday 13th was putting out at that time in life.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
They were better than those anyway. But I just had to put on record that I felt the Rob Zombie movies were not good at all. I didn't think they were. I thought they were garbage. In my opinion, they were garbage. You know what I'm saying? It was not.
They were not. No.
Nowhere near scary.
That's because it's so beloved to you. That's because Halloween is so beloved.
I'm just saying. Well,
it was not garbage. No, bro. I refuse to let you call the movie garbage. They were not garbage. They were not garbage.
Yeah. Like I said,
they were not garbage.
The real, essence of Michael Myers. It took away the essence of Michael Myers. It did.
Stop it.
Michael Myers is not Kane, bro. Michael Myers is
no.
I don't need a 7-foot Michael Myers. I'm sorry. I don't need that. And I don't need Loomis saying, Michael, come home.
Oh, how they got me. Michael, come home. Like E.T. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
I did not like
E.T.
Come home. Come on.
Listen, that's the only
He's
thing
like trying to
reason.
reason.
That's the only thing I will agree with.
Michael Myers? You can't reason with the devil. He is the devil incarnate. You can't.
Well, that was the point, and that was the point he proved. He tried to do that. That psychiatrist tried to do that. That version of Loomis tried to do that, and then realized, oh, shit, I can't do this. And then in the second one, he was just a dick. He
deserves to die in the second one. He deserves
to die.
Yeah, but like I said, once again, completely destroying the whole. It
did not stop it. Oh my god! That's like saying the Cowboys were a great team. Come on, man, stop it.
No, let me tell you, man.
Hey,
so now you're just gonna go completely. Like I said, all of a sudden you villainize Loomis.
Oh, here we go.
Who's the only person who's trying to stop Michael Myers? Actually, who's actually been going around all them years
again? You're living.
So
in the
you
past.
villainize Loomis.
Let it go. No,
the only person that actually tries to stop Michael Myers and save people.
Listen, this is another universe. This is another universe.
Yes, the Rob Zombie.
Yeah, it's a horror verse. It's a horror verse. That's what it is. It's a multi-horror verse.
That's what I'm saying. He robbed
No, it's
Zombie.
a multi-horror verse. That's what it is.
No, he didn't rob Zombie. He didn't rob Zombie. He did. That's the other thing. I will not allow you to label it that because
he robbed Zombie.
He did. He robbed Zombie.
No,
that's what he did. He robbed Zombie and robbed us of what he did was robbed us of the real, actual essence of this movie franchise.
No, he didn't know. I think he played true to the essence of who Michael Myers was, an unstoppable machine. No. He did too. No. Michael Myers is an unstoppable machine, and that don't mean he has to. He's an unstoppable force that doesn't look like an unstoppable force. He doesn't have to look like a goddamn giant. It's Andre.
He walking out with a WWE belt.
The other reason why he looked like a giant was compared to the people he was killing. It ain't his fault that the people who ended up getting killed were born short. That ain't his fault.
No, this dude was 7 foot tall, Kev. This was a 7 foot tall dude. So Michael Myers was nowhere near 7 feet tall.
Listen, that's that iteration of Michael Myers. That is not.
Yeah, that's the true iteration, which is why.
Wait. I'm gonna put this out.
Nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put this out there. John Carpenter's legacy, in my opinion.
I'm gonna put this out there. I get what Wes is saying. I get what Wes is saying about the hype. So I'm gonna just like this.
Now he's disgracing John Carpenter. Jesus, help him, Lord.
No, if they remake Star Wars, right? If they remake Star Wars somewhere in the future, and some 5'6" guy come walking out as Darth Vader, we're gonna look at him like, please, please. It's not Darth Vader, right? Darth Vader is 7 foot.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing, though. In this case, with Michael Myers, even in some of the later versions of Michael Myers, he was taller. He was at least 6'6". In some of those movies, he wasn't always a teen. You got to remember the early version.
No, I understand that.
Michael Myers,
but bro,
in his 20s,
6'5", 6'6", 6'3", anything around that is still like a normal size for a man. All right, 7 feet is not a normal size.
You got to remember, it is a normal size for a person when you're talking about the time period. Again, you have to look at the time period that they're talking about.
It had nothing to do with it. This dude was 7 something.
You know what?
The guy who played him was, like I said, you go from Michael Myers to Andre the Giant. I mean,
I don't think there was nothing wrong with that. It made him
turns from part one. It turns from Undertaker to
listen. You know what? Here's the reason why, and I can explain why Rob Zombie did what he did was showing him with that kind of size and power. Because you have to explain how, because most times we know that people who are mentally who are mentally crazy usually possess this otherworldly strength, and generally.
So why would you have to explain that? You're actually over explaining it by putting him so.
No, you're not. You're not. See, that was your interpretation of it. Because in my eyes, it wasn't over explained. Because some of the kills, the way he had to kill some of these people, I mean, just going by physics, you're not like the teenage Michael Myers in Halloween 2 or even in Halloween 4. Some of the kills he was doing, it was just like, I don't know if a 20-year-old is really doing
he
that.
wasn't. He was by the time those movies came around, he wasn't a teenager no more. You know what I mean?
But he was in his 20s. No, but by timeline wise, he
was like Michael Myers is 22 or something like that. He said in like Halloween 2 or something like that. He said that or 21, I think he was. When they were looking, they thought they killed him. They thought they burned him up, and they were looking through his teeth, and they was like, this is the teeth of a kid. No fillings. He's like, Michael Myers is 21, so he was 21 back at that point. So he was never.
That's what I'm saying. That's in the Curse of Michael Myers, or not the Curse of Michael Myers, the Return of Michael Myers. That was the Return of Michael Myers. So at that point, yes, he was in his 20s. Again, with Rob Zombie's version. Yeah. He's grown. He's been in the institution for years.
So here's Jimmy Ace. Jimmy Ace says Rob Zombie proved in the second movie when he said he didn't want to make another movie, and it showed. So that was he might have been contractually obligated maybe to do that movie.
He was because he only wanted to do the one. He did only want to do the one. That much is.
He probably number one probably got offered a shit ton of money, didn't want to turn down the money, and number two, like you said, he was contractually obligated, so he probably just want to do it. But all right, so let's wrap this up so we can wrap the show. But okay, so we was up to Jason. No, we did Jason Go to Hell. We up to Final Friday, and that was against the reboot of Rob Zombie Friday. Did we decide who won between Halloween? Yeah, we did, right? Resurrection.
Yeah,
because Jason Goes to Hell. Yeah, Resurrection won that one. Okay, Final Friday versus Halloween reboot, the Rob Zombie version. I'm at this point I had given up on Friday the 13th, to be honest with you.
Wait, what is this? What's this last one?
It was the Final Friday versus Halloween, the reboot. The first Halloween, Rob Zombie.
Here's what you should have did was when you switched over to the new Rob Zombie, you should have, at least for one of them, you should have, or for the last one, you should have went with the Friday the 13th.
It is reboot. There. It's on there. It's on there.
Oh, it's on there.
The Friday 13th reboot is on there, but it's against, unfortunately, the Halloween reboot, which I thought was better.
Way better.
But anyway, I really wouldn't. I don't know. I might have picked this fight if I would have put this against one of the Rob Zombies. I would have picked it because I didn't like the Rob Zombies really at all. And the Friday the 13th reboot,
I must have misunderstood something because I love that Friday the 13th reboot.
No, I thought it was good. I thought it was good. I thought it, like I said, I like the insight. Minutes. Like I said, unlike some things are necessary. Some things are necessary to me. If you're going to explain, kind of explain why Jason pops up everywhere, so they add this element of Crystal Lake being built on, these tunnels. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense to me. That's necessary. I didn't think it was very necessary. We've already showed. Okay, so we showed that Michael Myers killed his sister when he was a kid. So now, Rob Zombie wants to go back and show why he did even more than that. Why, what led Michael Myers up to wherever he became or whatever. And he started off killing animals and shit. I don't care. That's typical to me. That's typical. Like, leave that alone. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't necessary. But anyway, Heaven Hollywood says, what'd he say? Nick Castle was 5'10". Tony Moran is 6 feet. James Courtney, 6 feet. 6'2", I guess. Dick Warlock, 6 feet, 5'9". You are wrong, Kev. The first 4 Michael Myers. That was the first 4 Michael Myers. None of them was 6'5", 6'6". As we say, these are all people that played Michael Myers. They all 5'10", 6 feet, 6'2". What about the original guy. Is that him, Nick Castle? Yeah, that's the original guy.
Yeah, Nick Castle.
That's the guy they brought back for the other film. Yeah, man. Like I said, so Michael Myers is going to win because they just went too crazy with the Jason X and that was the one he was in space, right? Jason X. It's like Jason in space.
One of the dumbest concepts ever.
Yeah.
Taking
so we're gonna
Jason-
go ahead and wrap this up with Michael Myers wins because of just the fact that the film. But I do want to point out that the Friday the 13th reboot was decent, and I think the fact that they went ahead and tried to explain why Jason just pops up everywhere. He doesn't magically pop up everywhere, but the fact that you always got the idea that he knew the area, but the fact that they had the Crystal Lake built on the tunnels and stuff like that kind of made sense. It was like, okay, I could get with that. You know what I mean? I can get with that.
Yeah,
and then
that was like, oh,
it wasn't bad, and like I said.
But it's
I just
putting
feel
up
like
against the last Halloween movie. I'm sorry.
Well, it came up
against
against the
his
last
ass
Halloween movie because that was the last Jason movie made, and then it came up against the. I didn't use Freddy vs. Jason. I was just like, blah. After the New Blood, it just went to shit to me. Jason Take Manhattan was funny, some of the parts, but it wasn't really that good either. It just kind of went to crap after the New Blood. The New Blood I thought was the best, nice little spin on it and stuff like that. Because you got a chance to see Jason get his butt kicked by that girl with the telekinesis. So Heaven says that was a great job. They made it make sense. Exactly. He been talking about the Friday the 13th. They made it make sense why Jason just pops up every damn day. You know what I mean? So makes sense to me, and I like that. I like if you're gonna go and have it make sense. But there was nothing to me, and I'm gonna leave Rob Zombie's ass alone. But there was nothing added. He didn't give us nothing that was really importantly added from his movies. If you're gonna go ahead and go into his backstory, what did we really learn important about Michael Myers? Nothing.
That he was picked on as a kid, and he got fed up with it, so he started revolting.
Yeah.
That he actually hated his. I guess that was.
Right, his stepfather.
He loved his mom, but everybody else in his family he actually hated.
Right, he actually hated. Okay, yeah. So once again, like I said, you're coming from an angle of empathy. He was picked on as a kid. No, Michael Myers was just evil. He was evil. Period. Who cares? He was picked on as a kid. He's evil, incarnate.
Well, like I said, once again, I'm not even going to say that the whole Nightmare on Elm Street thing, right. But you could say the same thing, and you could pick that same argument for Darth Vader. Did we really need to see what turned him into evil, or what you saw was fine? I mean, but
no, I don't agree with that. I think because there was so many already stories, they hinted to it, they foreshadowed it. Yes, it was necessary to see it because they foreshadowed that. They talked about what Darth Vader was before he was Darth Vader. They talked about how your father, Anakin Skywalker, was a great Jedi. And then when he finds out that he becomes Darth Vader, yes, it is necessary. It's not necessary, but it was interesting to see what he was like before he became Darth Vader. In this case, because we learned something. We didn't learn anything from this. That's what I'm saying. It didn't improve, it didn't enrich our experience with Halloween. It didn't enrich the experience. All it did was all it did was go back and tell you that Michael Myers, first of all, it's typical. Michael Myers was bullied as a kid. Oh my God, really? That's what you come up with? That's what you come up with. When you could have spent off of one of the other films that even John Carpenter didn't write, like the one with the dude with the boots that, they never really elaborated on that stuff. When they went into the like the dark arts and stuff like that they were talking about in there. You could have went with that, man. You're going to come with, he was picked on as a kid.
Really in his feelings about this one.
He was picked on as a kid. That's what you got, Rob Zombie. And then it's like killing everybody, like all craziness and shit. I'm just sitting there like, and you get the flashes. Rob Zombie does. You gotta have an aneurysm watching the film. I'm just sitting there like, yo, come on, son.
Wow, man.
Come on.
You really put a lot of thought into this,
Yeah,
haven't you?
man. I'm serious though. The flashing, killing. Oh shit! Like, come on, man. I was like, come on, son. That ain't Halloween, man. And then I tell you why. This is why it wasn't Halloween to me, because I was not scared watching Rob Zombie films. All the other ones, I was scared. I wasn't scared watching the Rob Zombie films. I was pissed. That's how I was.
Wow.
So, maybe you should have changed your emotion. You was reaching for the wrong emotion.
Maybe you should have upped your dosage or dropped it. I don't know. Change your dosage. I don't know. Be more moody. Switch from the skunk to the sour apple diesel. I don't know. Smoke a little more.
Oh my God.
You Rob Zombie this.
You Rob Zombie this, man. I'm sorry. And as Jimmy Ace pointed out, Rob Zombie never wanted to even make the second movie. He just wanted to do the one. I understand. He's like, yeah, this is a great dream to do this movie over and blah, blah, blah. All I was saying was like, and people, trust me, there was a lot of people that was on the fence. They didn't know which way to go with it. They were, oh, Rob Zombie, man, great, because he was, he hit us with, the Devil's Advocates or whatever the hell it was called. Not Devil, what was it called? Devil's Rejects, and all, good stuff, right? Oh, Rob Zombie, yeah. Then it's like, oh, okay, he's got Halloween. Okay, what's gonna happen? And I was like,
but he didn't. I don't agree. He didn't Rob Zombie because didn't look nothing like the Devil's Rejects. It didn't look like any of those films. House of 1,000.
I'm saying, right?
It didn't look
he Rob Zombie this by putting with the long hair, hippie-ish.
We had to into that.
A long ass hair.
Wait. First of all, Michael Myers for a little bit of time in Rob Zombie's films was living out in the wilderness. I mean, what the fuck you think is going to happen to you?
I'm talking about all so how come everyone else looked like they was living in the wilderness? They all
did not. Come on, man.
They all had long hair. The mother, him as a kid, he had long hair as a kid. He had long hair. Looked like a long dirty kid.
Again, you got to look at the time period of where he was coming from. I saw where he was coming from. You got to remember, it's from a rock type of perspective, a Midwestern rock, kids that's into rock and roll. Most of them kids at that age had long hair. Not everybody was a nerd looking, and not everybody was a nerd. You had people, especially if you came from a broken home like that. Most of the kids were into metal music, and you had that type of look.
That's it.
That's what he was going for. That's why I understood.
Somebody could have gave that kid a haircut. Let's be real.
This is all part of Rob Zombieing. Haddonfield.
No, it's not. No, that's not
Haddonfield like a middle class.
That's not the thing. You made that's some in your feelings crap you made up.
Zombieing is not it's what it is, bro. Haddonfield wasn't like that.
Listen, it's not our fault. It is not our fault that you went into the movie with the wrong emotion. You went in there and came out with the wrong emotion.
No, I'm telling you. No, it wasn't that. I went in there and got robbed. I got robbed.
Hey, Cap.
I got robbed.
Cap, when Wes went in, he had the wrong Infinity Gem. That's what it was.
Yep, I got robbed.
He had the wrong Infinity Gem. That's what it was.
I just got straight robbed. My money got robbed, and I got Rob Zombie.
Oh boy!
And I got robbed of the Michael Myers lore. The only thing I can say is I walked out there.
The next time I go to a Rob Zombie concert, I'm going to make sure that Rob Zombie, I'm going to get a hug from Rob Zombie and make sure it gets sent to you.
No, I don't need no hug.
At least I'll try to get your money back.
I don't want to hug him. I want to punch him in the face. He messed up my childhood.
I don't think he wants to do that.
So Wes, is as what I always said tonight, is that one of the movies where like Rob Zombie owes you some money?
Oh yeah, Rob Zombie owes me a couple of bucks because I gave him a chance the second time around. He owes me at least $30, and I don't know if I saw that with anybody. Hopefully, I didn't. But I don't even know if I saw that with anybody. If I paid for somebody else, like a female or something, he owe me that money too.
Wow,
Rob Zombie, if I meet you, you owe me some bread, bro. Sorry, you owe me some bread, dude.
man.
So, anyway, all right. So that's pretty much a wrap this show up. But Michael Myers wins, and not Kane Michael Myers, the real Michael Myers, not Michael Myers the wrestler. Yeah, Michael Myers, the demon, the crazy man, the boogeyman. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. The boogeyman, not not the Undertaker. I'll just say.
Rest in peace. That's all he wanted to say.
I swear he might as well got the Undertaker. That dude was walking around he was actually walking around looking like Kane. He was looking more like Kane in the second one. You know what I'm saying? He had the long hair just like the Undertaker, man. I was waiting on him to pop up. Like first of all, you can't even knock him. At least in the other ones, you had some sort where you really didn't have a fighting chance, but at least you just tried to have a fighting chance. You hit him with something. Jamie Lee poked him in the eye with a hanger. He fell down. He was down for a while, then he got up. What can you do against the Undertaker, or Big John Studd, or whoever the hell it was? What you do against these guys? They go to step over the top rope. Power bomb your ass. You're done.
The Big Show.
Kevin Nash, whatever. Just
you ain't right, man. You're not right.
You do it, these guys.
You can love us, you can hate us, but don't ever forget about us. Good night.
I'm going to tell you.
Yeah,
I'm just going to kill you.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
So, with that being said,
just listen to the bad guy. He's going to kill you. That's all it is. You can't do nothing.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's what I always had.
See, now that you said, you know what I want. You know what I want to see as a what if, and
what?
And you guys out there that are watching this that make all those YouTube videos, give me this. Don't give me a fight between Michael Myers and Jason. Know what I want? Now that Wes said the whole Undertaker thing, give me Michael Myers versus Rambo. Fist hands, 1-on-1. Let me see who's going to win that fight.
Man, Rambo gonna get his ass whooped. What are you talking about?
Rambo is not gonna get his ass whooped. He's not. That's Rambo. That's John Rambo. Come on, man. The man sold. Wait a minute. Where's the camera? The man sold his own cut up. He put fire into his body when he had that hole in it, and then went and killed all the Russians.
Wait. Did you just say he put a hot poker in his body? Michael Myers was set on fire, motherfucker. Was walking around burning.
Michael Myers was set on fire. He was set on fire.
He was fire. He was the epitome of fire.
That's why you know Loomis wasn't. It was a bad motherfucker because Loomis blew up with Michael Myers.
And came back with him. So to keep it a buck, whatever's in Michael Myers was also in Loomis because Loomis came back.
He came back, and this is my final. I'm no more digs at Rob Zombie, but I was really disappointed in how they played Loomis out. I thought that was whack. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that I will give you that was whack. That version of Loomis, I hate that version.
I agree too.
Loomis exists in these movies because there has to be that
balance.
It has to be that balance of the character because everyone else is the victims, right? They're helpless. They need help. He was that dude who was kind of like the hero, so to speak. Now there was something he wasn't perfect. We all know that there was some things that was his fault, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And well, just like I mean, think about it. It was
more so the hospital. Because he kept telling the hospital, look, this is what you need to do, and the hospital wouldn't listen to him. Because remember, even in the second one, they tried to shut Loomis down. They was like,
No,
look,
they
you
did.
got to come
They
back
did
with
try
us.
to shut him down. Because remember when he was saying, because remember they were blaming him. Remember that cop was like, you let him out. And he was like, no, I didn't let him out. I left orders for him to be restrained. Like, no, you didn't. You let him out. No, you didn't, nigga. You let him out. But he was gonna kill Loomis. So that cop was gonna kill Loomis's damn self. But yeah. So, but my saying is, they needed that balance. He was the one that was gonna come. You know, why have him there otherwise? You know what I mean?
But you know what? But that goes back to your point. You saying that, not to stretch it out, but you saying that goes back to the point of like that really needs to be explored. Because yes, when that room blew up, Michael and Loomis were both in that room, and they both came back.
Yeah.
So that kind of proves, and this is all just aside. In the universe, that kind of proves that balance needs to be there. Like one couldn't exist without the other, to a degree.
I know.
You know, up until a point that Loomis actually got killed and died.
Yeah.
But
Loomis only died in the movies because he died in real life.
Real life, and that's the only reason why he died in the movie.
That's the reason why he died in the movie.
Keep it a buck.
So anyway, thanks everybody
so strong he had to really die for real.
For watching this special Halloween edition of the movie versus. This was fun. I know it was going on. It was just funny. But yeah, as you know,
Rambo versus Michael, we can make $1 billion. $1 billion.
That's right.
$1 billion. Let's put it out there.
$1 billion what? What $1 billion?
$1 billion
what? In 5 minutes? That'd be the biggest robbery of a film ever. Because that movie ain't lasting longer than 10 minutes. Listen, and which version? Listen, and check this out. If you use the Rob Zombie version of Michael Myers, Rambo is really done. He's finished. He ain't doing nothing.
Jimmy A says, yeah, Rob Zombie. He said the Rob Zombie Dr. Loomis was mad whack. That's what he's saying.
And Jimmy is right. That's the one thing I will agree with. That version of Dr. Loomis was just that was horrible. That was, especially in the second one.
I just think he didn't really make much of a difference being there. But Jimmy Ace, we thank you for joining us and supporting. We appreciate your support. We definitely. I'm sure he's got. I got to talk to Jimmy Ace because I know we got some big plans coming up with you. Hopefully, bring your sports show over to the IE network. That's what we need to do. But Jimmy Ace does his sports show.
Hey Jimmy, listen. If you do that, man, please have me on the show because I really want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. That's my team. I really want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys.
You just got spanked on Sunday.
We'll get all of the details squared away. We'll get Jimmy Ace over on the IE network. He can bring the Bench Warmers show. That's his sports show over to the IE network. We would love to have that. And get that popping, man. He knows his sports. He does his thing. He's a graduate of the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, which is a very big, broadcasting school. Does his thing, man. So that's what's up. Yeah, man. Thanks again, bro, for checking us out. And once we get all the details to that, we'll give you the details. Shout out to Heaven Hollywood who came through real quick. Appreciate you, bro. He hated that movie as well. He hated it. Yeah, me and him sit around and we have a goddamn roast with Rob Zombie. And up until that point, I loved Rob Zombie. It was just something up to that point. But anyway, thanks everyone. Joseph Tanner.
Your opinion is just like that Mets garbage you got on. I ain't got nothing else to say. That's the only thing I can say.
I'm actually wearing. I'm wearing the Mets hat, but I'm actually wearing. This is Brandon, baby. I'm actually wearing the B2S Media.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I'm wearing the B2S Media.
Brandon,
I'm waiting on the hat. The hat, yeah, it's the Met colors. I'm waiting on the hat that it's going to still be the Met colors, but it's not going to have the Met emblem. It's going to have B2S Media, and we'll get that done. Shout out to Aaron Holmes, who's making the hat for me. Yeah, everybody. Joseph Tanner, I didn't see any of the heavy hitters in here today, but
yeah, where's Millie?
yeah. I didn't see them. If they were here, I thank you. You always usually support us, so we'll forgive you this week. See you next week. And everybody else, man, over at Dollhouse Radio India and all that. Happy birthday, Kev. Rob Zombie sucks. And you have yourself a good night, man. And
thank you.
Ralph, have yourself a good night. Everybody else, peace.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Be safe. I don't know what's going to happen this Halloween.
Wear your mask.
Yes. And you know, as we always say, you can love us, you can hate us, but don't forget about us. Peace.